or JJ?
Hello, everyone, and welcome inside Platt Arena. We have got two good games in store for you tonight here on FDN Sports. It's the Indiana Wesleyan Wildcats and the Huntington Foresters. First, we'll tip it up with the women's. It is Preston Husband, Ryan Walker. Welcome back to FDN Sports, and man, you picked a good night to come back.
Well, you know, they had to bring back the best during the best games, right?
Absolutely.
Preston? No, of course. No shame in that, but no, I'm so excited to be back. What a doubleheader that we have today, Preston, between two just kind of recent rivals, I guess you could say. I mean, of course, it's been a rivalry for a while, but Both of these teams have been so good recently, and it's like we've got them both clashing together during the week. It's going to be a packed house here tonight. I'm so excited to call it with you, Preston.
They've even got us on camera right over here across the way. So hello, Preston, Ryan here. Two teams that are off to really good starts. The Foresters at 4-2. They're receiving votes for the first time since 2019-20. Indiana Wesleyan, they've stayed strong. They're in the number 2 spot in the country, and that's nothing new for Coach Whaley and his staff.
Yeah, that's just IWU basketball, really, both with the men's and the women's. But recently, man, the women's team, number 2 in the country, as you said, they've got off to an undefeated start, and they've got arguably maybe the best player in the country here tonight in Lily Frazier and Taylor Folkema, too. Another player, second team All Crossroads League. So I'm looking forward to seeing how the Foresters are going to defend those two tonight. You really have to key in on one or the other, but no, Huntington's got kind of a strong class of sophomores to watch out for, too.
They do, and this is a game last year that Huntington let get away just a little bit. They were right in the game, actually up double digits heading into halftime against a then top 10 ranked team in Indiana Wesleyan. They kind of fell apart, had too many turnovers, but those freshmen are now sophomores, and they're really showing something special here in the early going.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. Of course, Indiana Wesleyan's going to be able to retool, but they lost some players from the team last year. Of course, bringing back a couple Crossroads League member team award winners, excuse me. They're still going to be really strong, and clearly they are really good this year in the Crossroads League. But Huntington, bring back virtually everybody from a season ago, and like you said, they've got another year of experience. So they're ready, they're chomping at the bit to say, you know what, we're going to take this game, and we're not going to blow it this time. Yeah. We're going to punch you in the mouth this time. So I'm excited to see that.
Coach Darby Maggard is in her 3rd year as the head coach. She has done an excellent job turning this team around. 9 games under 500 in her first year, 1 game over 500 last year, including 9-9 in one of the toughest conferences in America. 4-2 this year, and a chance for a real statement here tonight. Well, starting lineups, the video board will be turned on. This crowd will be getting loud, and we're going to take a break while they do. We'll be back in just a few minutes for tip-off between Indiana Wesleyan and the Huntington University Foresters.
In which our talented student athletes
My name's Emma, I'm Zach's cousin, and I'm a board member on Backpacks of Hope.
My name's Allie, and I am Zachary's sister, and I am a co-founder of Backpacks of Hope.
We put in our backpacks is items to keep the homeless warm, such as hats, gloves, blankets, and then a lot of sanitary items, and then just some non-perishable food items and water for them. And we started in the upstairs of my grandma's house, and after I believe Thanksgivings, we would all get together and pack about, our first year was 50 backpacks, and just seeing us go from 50 backpacks to 2,000 was just really neat to see.
We may never know the lasting impact that we're having on them, but they're so excited and so thankful that they have items to get them through the next month or 2 months. I think that's the most impactful, but right there in those moments is all the impact that we need to see.
Thank you!
Bippa State Bank is a cornerstone of the community. Our banking building blocks were assembled in 1911 and haven't differed much since then. We still stay true to our local roots, aiming to support, uplift, and celebrate the citizens and businesses of Huntington. As proud lenders to and patrons of our local businesses, we make our community an even more prosperous place. And when you support local banking, you play an important role in Huntington's success stories. No matter what financial products you may need, your business is an invaluable opportunity for us to strengthen our relationship with Huntington, which we're fortunate enough to call home. Bippa State Bank is banking at its best. We believe in community banking.
This is how we like to do it.
As the owner of JJ's, I invite you to visit one of our 7 BP convenience stores. And when you do, I expect you will experience hometown excellence in the cleanest and friendliest convenience stores in your community. Please also consider visiting JJ Java for the best cup of coffee in town, or JJ's Pit Stop for a quick, no appointment necessary professional oil change. Also, if you ever need a clean and efficient environment in which to do laundry, JJ's washroom is ready to serve you.
Three ball on the way for Melby. She's got it. Peyton Hartsoe picks it up, jump shot, and she gets it to go. Rebounded easily by Akers, and no one was there to stop her. Catches it between 2 defenders and still scores the basket. Yeah! Goes in hard, fouled, and one! Drops back for Nelson, and she's got a 3 in transition. Ramey gets the board, throws it up and in. If you needed anything extra to get hyped up tonight, there it was. The Huntington Foresters getting ready to take on the number 2 Indiana Wesleyan Wildcats inside Platt Arena. It's time for Crossroads League basketball, my favorite time of year, Ryan.
I'm glad there's no brick walls around because somebody, including myself, would be able to run through them. I'm just so jacked up. I've probably said it about 3 times already, Preston. I'm jacked up for this matchup, especially with the Foresters being so good this year. They've knocked up a couple really good teams this year, including the Cumberlands, which you were on the call here for. It's just it's a program that Darby Maggard has really built up in just a few seasons and kind of paying dividends right now, and it will for years to come.
She's trying to mirror the head coach on the other side, Ethan Whaley's 191-53 overall record, 99-24 in the conference. So he has had a good long run there. He was an assistant coach before that, and he's really built that program. Well, really has kept it consistent because they've been good for a long time. But Coach Darby Maggard, you see her right there, one of the best NCAA Division I basketball players ever. And Huntington with a great hire. Let's introduce you to their starting lineup real quick. For the home team, Bailey Kellum, Peyton Hartsoe, Annika Nelson, Gabi Melby, and Liv Raby. On the other side, tipping it up is Jade Nutley, Izzy Reed, Jasmine Griffin, Taylor Folkema, and Lily Frazier, who we will talk about a lot tonight. She's got the basketball now, maybe a potential player of the year in the country.
Yeah, first team all-conference last year. She gets her first shot off, trying to establish that three-point game early.
Raby has been a monster on the glass as of late. She combined for 25 rebounds over a 2-game stretch just last week. She can really get it done inside, and her scoring has started to pick up as well. Here she goes, down in the post, whistled for a travel. It's a little bit of an issue for HU their last time out. Had a handful of turnovers like that, just kind of careless, but the right move to get the ball into Raby because she's had an awesome start to the year.
It's a team that doesn't turn the ball over as much, but yeah, in recent games, that's been the case. If you want to win tonight, those are having to be cleaned up.
Long pass, and it's going to be an offensive foul on Folkema. That's an interesting story for the Indiana Wesleyan Wildcats. She's a transfer from Spring Arbor, so she transferred within the conference, had to sit out a year, was back last year. Now she's back to playing really good basketball again this season.
Isn't that interesting how it works out? People in the Crossroads League will transfer within. We see that with Maximus Gizzi as well on the Huntington side. It's interesting. It's like you're looking at other schools when you play at them.
Kellum now called for a travel. The refs definitely decided that was going to be a point of emphasis tonight. You'll see that sometimes. The refs do their film work as well. They will check and see if some of these players get that extra step, and Kellum, who's such a good three-point shooter, that extra step means a lot to her. So 2 turnovers, 2 travels for HU. They're whistled for a lot of those in last game, Ryan. Just something to keep an eye on as Nutley fires, can't hit. Good box out. Folkema tried keeping it in, and the chopping block lets her know that it's Forrester basketball.
I guess both teams just filling each other out right now. We expected maybe some high scoring between the two teams, but so far still zip at the end of the first minute.
Nearly another turnover there as Nelson was trying to get it into Hartsoe. It's Forrester's basketball. Just need to adjust the shot clock here. Might take a tick or 2 off. Now we've got 84.5 seconds on the clock, so that's not going to work.
I think that translates to about a minute. There we go.
So 8:45, 27 on the clock, 29 on the shot clock is the final decision. On FDN Sports broadcast without a couple of stoppages to adjust the clock or the time and different things like that. So hopefully it's not the trend all night.
Yeah, you got that right, Preston. But we got a lot of hardworking people here, and they'll get things situated pretty quickly.
Melby just taken down by Folkema. That's going to be her first personal. That's actually her second personal. She picked up that offensive foul too. So that's an early storyline here for the Wildcats.
Yeah, for Huntington, when you're playing defensively against Indiana Wesleyan, clearly there's talent all over the floor. But if you can limit Lily Frazier and Taylor Folkema throughout the contest today, that's going to give your best chance to win. So 2 personals early and going to the bench, it's a good way to stop her.
Nelson using a little bit of a size advantage, shot it too strong, and it's pulled down by Jasmine Green, one of the other starters, as she pushes the pace back the other way. Freshly into the game, now having the ball, Emily Mattingly drives to the left, and that's a nice way to start her night.
Basket's good by Emily Mattingly.
Mattingly off the bench from Evansville, 6 points per game this year. This is what is so impressive about this IWU team. They are so deep. They'll play 10, 11 players each night as now Nutley picks up a personal. But we saw last year, Ryan, when these two teams met, they will go deeper and deeper in that bench, and Coach Whaley has trust in all of them.
Yeah, and that's a great problem to have when you're a coach and you really like the recruiting classes that you have coming in year out. You kind of pick players that fit your system, and if it's a team that wants to run the floor and might get a little bit tired, you can keep subbing players in, and that's just kind of the system that they roll, and clearly it works for them.
They continue to win games year in and year out. We'll have the men's game after this, Hoops for Hope night. We'll continue to talk about that. That's something you guys will want to tune in after this one as Melby gets the scoring started.
Huntington had to get on the board at some point, a couple turnovers and just a missed shot down low. They had to get on the scoreboard, see something fall in. Now they knot things up at 2.
Back inside, and now a personal on the Foresters. Whistles coming quickly here for both teams. Already 3 fouls against IWU, 1 against HU. Jasmine Green picked this one up on Gabi Melby. Melby just scored that last bucket. She's having a career year at 16 points per game. She's also doing it very efficiently, shooting nearly 50%. Loose ball, Hartsoe battling. It's going to be picked up by the Wildcats as they push the pace with Nutley. Nice spin, and the left-hand finish is short. Melby wants to push the pace. Hottest shooter in Kellum has to pull it down. Now doubled, and that one's ripped away as it's going to stick with the Foresters.
Well, it's going to be key for Huntington. If Indiana Wesleyan misses shots like that, it's very crucial to be able to capitalize in the other end or at least get a shot off. So little possessions like that, that's how you knock off a team like a number 2 Indiana Wesleyan.
Melby trying to find an option. She's called for a 5-second call. Turnovers starting to pile up here against HU. Just could not find an open option. You know, we talked about Kellum, and we will continue to talk about her. She hasn't taken a shot yet, and it's very obvious. Indiana Wesleyan, they're willing to put 2 bodies on her when she has the ball. She lit them up for 30 points here, career high inside Platt Arena. So that's something to keep an eye on to see if they can shut down the stellar sophomore. She's guarding the ball now, called for the personal, and Reed gets it to go and has a free throw coming her way.
That is a big bucket from Indiana Wesleyan. Just haven't been able to get things going like they wanted to, maybe early off. But Huntington, with a couple turnovers early, they've been able to capitalize here to potentially go up by 3.
Reed, the Greenwood native, can't finish the 3-point play, and then it's tipped out of bounds. Last touch by Raby, so the Wildcats will hold on. Reed is one of those glue players that's been here for 4 years now. This team is sprinkled with seniors in and out of the lineup. Frazier, Folkema's actually a junior, but it is her 4th year of college basketball. And you look at Reed, it's another thing that IWU does well. They have a lot of older players that come and stay, and that's why they're so successful. Nutley, hands off, left side, wide open 3 is perfect from Reed, so she's got 5 straight, and that's the lead for IWU. This pressure is coming from Coach Whaley's staff. It's exactly what we saw last year. Melby fires and hits. She's been shooting the 3-ball at a much higher clip.
And Huntington, to win this game, I think they really got to shoot well from beyond the arc, something that they make and take a lot of threes against IWU. I think that's the key. They finally got an open 3 off.
Backdoor cut, and it's the Izzy Reed show as she's up to 7. She is playing well inside of Platt Arena right now, only averaging 8 on the year. Melby escapes the pressure. She is feeling in attack mode, falls away and knocks it in. She's got all 7 for HU. It's a battle between Reed and Melby.
Yep, and for Melby at Huntington, that's the senior leader that definitely does not want to lose to Indiana Wesleyan again. Just taking control and saying, I need to get things going on the offensive side.
Raby whistled for a tough one inside as Nutley was looking to put up the right-handed shot. And now Jade will head to the charity stripe to try to add on to this 2-point lead. Just the first on Raby, the 3rd on the team, and first player off the bench is Kendall Yoakum for the Foresters.
Jade Nutley will be at the line for the Wildcats.
Nutley has been a phenomenal player in her time in a Wildcats jersey. 33 games as a freshman, 5.5 points per game. She was an NAIA All-American honorable mention as a sophomore when she averaged 14 and nearly 6 rebounds. So she can get it done as well, and one of those experienced players that scores her first 2 of the night. Melby handling this pressure. She's been the only Forester to score so far in the first 5 minutes. Nearly throws it away. Good hands by Raby, but then she throws it into the front row as Nelson was backdoor cutting.
Yeah, just a really tough start from Huntington. Too many turnovers and just possessions given away. And, of course, Iwu with a rebound on their own end after missing a free throw. So just these opportunities, you can't make those mistakes if you want to knock off a team like Iwu.
Frazier, we've not seen her score yet, but she's trying to go to work against Nelson. Had it blocked, gets her own rebound. Nutley catches and shoots, misses that. Another opportunity on the offensive boards. Nutley back to work, is called for a charge. That time Nelson stood in and took the foul.
A great possession from Nelson. There are 2 times she was able to stop Indiana Wesleyan with a block and then taking the charge there.
It was actually Raby. That's my apologies. Raby was the one. No, we're all good. I switched you up there. That was Raby that stood in and took that charge.
Crossed me up.
Yeah, I know. I'm so sorry. Nutley does have 2 as well. So Nutley has 2. Folkema has 2. And this is where we'll see the Wildcats' depth come to life. Yoakum trapped in the corner. Melby able to get the underhanded shove. Works to her left. Coach Whaley wanted to carry. Kellum shoots the first shot of the night and banks it in.
Well, you'll take them any way you can get them, even if it's off the glass from deep.
Not usually what we see from Bailey Kellum. It's usually the bottom of the bucket, and now a moving screen called on Maddie Lawrence, and the whistles are starting to pile up against the Wildcats, and that will take us to our first media timeout of the night. It's a close one. We expected it 11-10 when we come back on FDN Sports. To 10 as we welcome you back into Platt Arena. We're showing you some new angles here tonight. You can even see Chris drinking a Diet Mountain Dew down on the end of the bench. I'll probably have one in between games, get this energy flowing for that men's game as well. So far in this first half, Ryan, the Foresters shooting a hot percentage, 80%, but 4 turnovers. Got to take care of the ball.
Right, they just haven't been able to get as many shots off as they'd like to. Indiana Wesleyan just harassing on defense. Huntington got to get more shots off.
Raby has the size advantage, but again, called for a travel. That is 2 times here tonight. Liv is caught and shifted the feet a little too quickly.
It's another possession for Huntington without even taking a shot. It's a team that shoots so well, especially from beyond the arc, and that's one thing that they have over the Wildcats is they shoot better from deep, and that's the way that I think Huntington can beat this team tonight. But if you keep turning the ball over, there's no opportunity to score points that way.
Not only that, you're already being sped up more than usual by a tough Indiana Wesleyan Wildcats defense. You got to take care of the ball when you have the opportunity to. Frazier gets to the hoop, can't get the roll. Melby pulls down the miss.
It's a clear effort to get Frazier a little bit uncomfortable tonight. Still without any points, but Indiana Wesleyan got plenty of other scorers that can do it as well.
Kellum had that knocked away by Frazier. This was one of the most interesting stats when I was doing my prep, Ryan. You take a look at Lily Frazier, you see the scoring, right?
Yeah.
Well, she had a triple-double this year that included 26 points, 14 rebounds, and 10 steals.
Wow.
So she can get it done in a lot of different ways, and
wow.
we see it defensively as well.
That's why you throw around the name All-American on the first team, and you kind of think, well, I wonder if she's going to have a potential player of the year votes this year for the Wildcats. So far this year, she definitely looks like she could repeat as an All-American as well as the leading rebounder on her team, almost averaging a double-double. But the steals part, that's you just don't see that very much. When a team leads and steals points, rebounds, that's crazy.
Melby knocks in the first. She is playing extremely well here against IWU tonight so far. She's perfect from the field and now perfect from the charity stripe as well. HU grabs back that lead. That was another foul, now 6 in the quarter on Indiana Wesleyan. Nice shot fake, fall away shot left short, and then a foul now going to go against Indiana Wesleyan again, and this is going to be the second on Lawrence. And if you're an IWU fan, you got to feel like these whistles are piling up against you.
Yeah, as much as Huntington has been turning the ball over, Indiana Wesleyan has kind of matched that with the fouls that they've had. Another opportunity for Huntington to put some points on the board on a turnover foul type situation.
That was against Bria Garber. That's her first from Goshen, Indiana. Garber picks up her first, as mentioned. Sorry, I got distracted there. Raby knocked in the first, so now a 2-point lead. But Huntington, if you can continue to get these Wesleyan players into foul trouble, of course, they're deep, but their best players obviously still need to be out there.
Yeah, there's plenty of talent at Indiana Wesleyan always. But, yeah, if you have your best 2 players not really able to produce much, that does put a disadvantage for the Wildcats.
Up top, back to work, off the dribble. Yoakum has really improved her defense, but this time she's called for a foul. I've been extremely impressed by Kendall Yoakum. Last year, 75 of 100 shots on the year were from 3. This year, she's putting on the floor and has become a better defender as well, except that time whistle for personal.
That was a tough call, too. She had the advantage going down low, and Coach Whaley's talking to us over on the sideline here. But, yeah, just it was really good positioning from Yoakum. Down low, just was able to draw the whistle. Tough to see from here if she got ball or not, but.
Mattingly goes empty from the free throw line on the trip. She's just 50% from there on the year, so not her strength, and that's somewhat of a bullet dodged by the Forrester defense. Kellum, just 3 on the night, trying to get it to Yoakum. She's a flamethrower when she gets hot, but that time missed it, and Nelson kept it alive. It's off the Wildcats. Actually, they're going to say it was last touched by Nelson.
Nelson definitely thought that she got the benefit of the doubt there, and it kind of looks like she did. I don't know if it tipped any part of her as it was going out of bounds, but that certainly looked like it should have been Huntington ball. But again, it was kind of tough to see if that deflected off of Nelson on the second part.
Touch foul on Yoakum, as she's whistled for her second personal now. So now a Forrester in foul trouble, and that quickly will take her out of the game as Peyton Hartsoe comes back in. And it is interesting, we've talked about this a lot. There are certain officiating crews that you know when you see them, they're going to blow the whistle more. And that doesn't mean that they're worse or better. It just means the game's going to be called a little tighter, and that's what we're seeing maybe here tonight. Both teams now in the bonus, still right around 3 minutes left in this first quarter.
And both teams play with such high intensity, too, and sometimes that's really the answer of it. Clearly, both teams are very involved in this game. They know how important this game is, so when you get 2 play styles like that, you could get the whistle a little bit more as well.
2:30 left in this first quarter. Melby has had the hot hand tonight, looking for a teammate this time. Nelson puts it on the floor, floats one up from 12 feet, and rattles it in. Nice move.
That's a big shot as a couple Wesleyan defenders were coming in, but just at the last second was able to float that up and get a clear shot to the rim close to the bucket.
Long 3 on the way, rattles in and out. Nelson tipped it, but then Raby wasn't aware maybe that her teammate touched it last. The Wildcats will make a couple more subs. Reed and Frazier back in. I always like watching these views of Melby on the sideline. She is so intense, and Coach Whaley kind of the same way. This is a good night to have coaches cam because these two are very aggressive on the sideline.
We should just give them the headset. Press and see what they have to say.
We might have to use the cough button as Frazier knocks that one down. Nice spin move, gets her scoring going. Frazier averaging 21.4 points per game from Winnemac, Indiana. Went to North Judson. He's had a phenomenal career for the Wildcats. Suffocating defense from IWU. Melby going back to work, fouled on her way to the rim, and a couple more free throws coming. She's been the catalyst all year long, but she is in attack mode tonight.
Yeah, Melby is just being that senior leader that you really need in games like this. You want your seniors to come up and produce on both sides, be that vocal leader and be that on-court presence that just kind of picks everybody up. We always talk about the youth on this team, the sophomores at Huntington, but when it's go time, when it's time to shine, Melby's always going to be there for Huntington. And you're certainly seeing that in the first quarter where Huntington really kind of looked out of sorts. They're looking like they were just overwhelmed by Indiana Wesleyan's pressure. So
Frazier skips it over the right side. Coach Whaley is hoping for a quick shot. He said he wants to go 3 for 2 here. So you hear 2 for 1. Sometimes you go 3 for 2 late in a quarter. Frazier's fouled. Raby's going to pick up another personal, and Lily's got a couple more free throws. And now we're going to see HU the same issue. They're going to have to dive deeper in their bench.
Just seems like this first quarter of action is just taken forever. There's been so many free throws on both sides. I don't think either team really necessarily wanted to do that. Give some free points at the charity stripe. But if you can take advantage of it, might as well take them. But these two teams, I think there's some adjusting to do after the first quarter or even in the first half if things kind of trend in the same direction. But that's just what good teams do.
Lily Frazier knocks down the 2 free throws. She's now scored the last 4 for the Wildcats. She's got over 1,800 career points, so free throws have been her friend for quite a while down in Marion. Hartsoe knocked away. Nelson gets it right back. Huntington late shot clock scenario, I should say. Melby so good in these spots and proves it again.
Had that little dribble fake over to the one side just to get a little bit of space and get towards the baseline for a 2. That's a big-time shot.
Three-pointer on the way. Short, good block out by Hartsoe, but no Forrester there to get it back. And now Frazier back to work, in and out. Another offensive rebound. Frazier finishes the 3rd try.
That was all Frazier there. I mean, she had a couple Forrester defenders down low with her, and again, seeing her miss that first shot, but just being such a good rebounder, is able to get that second chance, and she picks up the foul as well for potential 3-point play. And that's what makes her one of the best.
And I think what's happening, HU's getting some stops, and they're blocking out. The guards are doing a nice job blocking out. Some of these bigs and forwards, they've got to go gang rebound, and we have not seen that. And that is also what hurt them in last year's game. Yeah. They had that big lead, gave up a ton of second chance points. Huntington can hold for the last shot. There's barely a difference between the game clock and shot clock. Melby, awesome first quarter, but does turn it over here. And now IWU has a chance to take a lead after the first quarter break as they've gotten the ball back. Good hands by Frazier. We talked about it. She does it on both ends.
There were 3 defenders there on that replay from the Wildcats that were pressuring her.
Frazier trying to keep it going, and another whistle on HU. Waiting to see which player this is going to be on. It's going to be on Tegan Akers, who just came in the game. 20-19 Foresters, but Frazier, a chance to get it right back. Take a look. The stat we may need to put on the board all night, we might break a record for how many fouls there are in a game. This is wild.
When you do game prep, you'll look at the free throws. Yeah. You look at how many times they get to the line, but man, tonight that is just the difference so far.
How about 16 fouls in 10 minutes of gameplay? Wow. Melby going to have to fire one up. She has had the hot hand. Got it off in time, nearly hits, but it'll be a 1-point lead for the Wildcats as we head to the second quarter. We've got a tight one in Platte Arena when we come back.
I saw Forrester Camp when I was at school. It said health science, and I'm like really interested in medicine.
I was really set on nursing, but I didn't know any else like biology, chemistry, things like that. So health science was able to broaden my spectrum and learn more things in the science world.
It's opened my mind to a lot of things in the medical field. I'm definitely taking away a lot of knowledge that I didn't have before. Also a lot of new friends.
I was also kind of hesitant because I'm an introvert, but I got some new friends.
There isn't just one set biology you can do, from microbiology to biochemistry. So knowing my options is something that I'm gonna take away.
I'm wanting to learn about health sciences and God is all through health. God created all of us. That's pretty freaking cool.
One of the greatest opportunities I've had for my profession in the future.
If you're interested in something, or if you want to go to college, or if you want to make friends, go.
To me, Forester Camp.
Back inside Platt Arena, a fun, fast first period with lots of free throws. It's 21-20, Indiana Wesleyan, the number 2 team in the country. But these Foresters, last year they were young and pesky. This year they're a little more seasoned. But it was hard for anyone to get a flow in that first quarter. Ryan, what do you expect coming into the second part of the game?
Well, I think somebody else has got to get involved. And Preston, you've done many games. There's plenty of options on Huntington's side and on Indiana Wesleyan's side as well. Both teams really just need that second player to say, okay, we're going to calm down a little bit here. Maybe had some nerves or some jitters, or maybe just some pure excitement to play one another tonight here in the depths of the forest. But for Huntington, Gabby Melby with 13 points needs somebody else to kind of help her out. You saw in the last possession there, the second to last possession, where Melby's driving the lane, and Indiana Wesleyan, no, she's probably not going to dish it out. She's going to try to take care of the ball here. She's been scoring a lot. They had a couple hands coming in, and it's almost like they had a double team, but with help as well. So Huntington needs, who is it going to be? Is it going to be a Bailey Kellum or a Liv Raby or Annika Nelson? Who's going to come out and be that person? Maybe it's Emily Sebo.
Yeah, special shout out to Emily Sebo. I can't remember what her last name is changed to now, but she actually got married here in the recent months, and I can't get my Instagram to pull up to check for sure. I'm sure I could check the roster. I don't have it in front of me, but she was an excellent player for Huntington over the last 4 years. Played for Coach Darby Maggard. It's Emily Detmers. So there we go. Used to be Sebo. Excellent three-point shooter. I'm sure you saw it as well during your time here. I mean, she just could really let it fly from deep.
Well, I got her first 2 years at Huntington, and you got the last 2 years.
Correct.
Carson Watkins and I were able to see as a freshman just how good she was going to be, and recruited by Lori Culler, of course. That was just a prized freshman that was able to kind of build the foundation of what the Foresters are today, alongside Melby as two. It was a nice couple players to bring along with you for Coach Darby Maggard to start this program with.
Here's a good one right here as well. A freshman from Bishop Luers. Addie Schenk knocked in the first and the second. She is someone that will continue to get better and better, and I think she's a lot like Liv Raby, very crafty inside. She's coming off one of her best games. She had a career-high 10 points against Defiance her last time out. Scores on her first 2 free throws of the night.
Also knocked out the Bluffton Tigers in the sectional last year. I cover sports in Wells County, so it's kind of a cringe moment for me on her way to a state championship game.
Long three-pointer, not there. Another offensive rebound. Frazier stops and pops. And a chance inside, and that's going to count essentially as an offensive rebound because Melby just shoved the player she was defending in the back as Mattingly went down. Foresters right now, they just cannot get a rebound.
And that's what I think 7 offensive rebounds for the Wildcats tonight already so far to Huntington's 0. I mean, giving up 7 regardless of what you have is tough. And that's what's given Iwu a 3-point lead here.
Nice entry pass as Folkema scores again. She's been playing in the Crossroads League for a long time, the last 2 years at Indiana Wesleyan. Before that, Spring Arbor. Schenk puts it on the floor. Last touch by the Wildcats. Huntington will keep possession. You just cannot give the second-best team in the country extra chances. If Huntington were defending poorly and giving up these points, you think, okay, well, That's something we can fix, but this rebounding's got to be fixed soon as Melby gets another one to go, continues her perfect night.
That's the exact reason why the Forsters are in it, because Melby is able to contribute on the scoreboard.
Bodies down everywhere. Folkema tries to get it into Nutley, skips it outside, 3 up, no good, too strong again. There's been a couple of those from Mattingly now, and Huntington does grab the rebound. Shank to the senior Melby. Trying to have a career night to push her team over one of the best teams in the country. Shank puts it on the floor, finds Kellum, has not shot it much tonight, airballs that one. Frazier, full steam ahead, 3-pointer up, way short again, rebound down to Melby. That was Garber trying to knock in a triple. Foresters have number. Melby goes give and go, and she is unconscious right now.
It has been the Gabby Melby show tonight for Huntington. They have needed her, as everyone else has just kind of been slow to start, but she's been able to keep the Forsters in the game. It's very impressive what she's doing in this first half.
She does have a 40-point game in this arena as Folkema is starting to get it going offensively. Remember, Folkema had those 2 early fouls. Now she's back into a flow. Melby can score. That's not usually what we see, though. She usually is passing to her teammates, does a good job rebounding as well for a small guard, but tonight she's taken over. It's very similar to what we saw last year when the #1 team in the country on the men's side, Grace, came in. Someone like Zach Goodline goes off for 39. That might be the kind of performance you need tonight from Gabby Melby.
Every good team has to have a player like that. I mean, it's a team effort, but you need to have 1 or 2 players that are able to step in when everybody else is lacking just a little bit.
Kellum, left wing, drives in this time, gets to the rim, had it blocked away as she goes down. Good to see her get back up. That was a block from behind by Garber. Now, not sure what the refs want to check here. They're having a discussion. Any idea what this could be, Ryan? Maybe checking the clock?
Yeah, I wouldn't have a clue. Maybe they're just talking about what they're going to eat after the game.
Okay, it looks like they're going to come over and look at the time here. So we're going to take it to a short break. We'll do a replay, communicate with everyone in the back, check and see what the time needs to be following this on FDN Sports.
I love being a part of a team because we do everything together. Group of people that we could rely on. We can just go to them for anything. Coach Lewis, he prioritizes our faith and us as people before players, prioritizing school over soccer, which is very uncommon when you go to most schools. That is why I chose HU.
If I'm super stressed or something, I go to practice. It's nice to think about something else for a while and be able to take a break.
There's nothing better than just being reminded every single day that you're here because of God and you do everything to praise Him.
No matter what, we just offer it up to the Lord, whether we're losing or we're winning.
Soccer isn't everything, and it's not my identity, and really, my identity comes from the Lord. Just doing hard things together really builds a team and builds long-lasting friendships that will probably impact you for the rest of your life. Being an assistant has been really encouraging and also challenging in some ways. It's time to invest in the younger players.
I don't really say that I'm the captain. I feel like I'm the person that they can go to whenever they need something.
And it's just been a whole experience itself. And it just kind of felt like home.
To me, Forester Camps is amazing.
To me, Forester's Camps is cool.
To me, Forester Camps is a great experience. I've always had just a genuine interest for art, and our art teacher was passing out flyers and stuff.
And I saw that my other friends were going to do it, so I got interested in it as well.
This is my first college trip, so I didn't really know kind of what it's like to be in college.
College really isn't as scary as I thought it would be. Definitely go. There is a lot of really cool activities and opportunities you can get here.
Try to get yourself involved. Try to talk to other people who are like at the camp as well. Talk to like your hosts and stuff.
I mean, there's no reason not to go. I mean, you get out of school, you get to come here.
It's really informative on how college actually is, and that the community here is really great.
This is how we like to do it.
To me, Forester Camps is definitely a lot of fun.
Fantastic.
Telling.
Something that everybody can find something that interests them.
A space to learn new things in a safe environment.
To me, Forester Camps is getting to be a home away from home, I guess. You learn a lot here and you learn it well.
I plan on being an author once I'm done with college, so this seemed like a really fun opportunity for me.
It was just glad to meet new people in general and just kind of enjoy the workshop and just take away what I can from it and make myself a better writer.
That whole thing about how to write for musicals, I'd never even thought of that before, but that was awesome.
Hi, I'm Kevin.
My name's Allie.
Micah Gillian.
Check out some of the time issues in the game. I believe they're going to put 6 seconds back on the clock and shot clock. They're looking to see this play here, whether the shot clock got switched, because maybe the operator thought that it was possession the other way, and then they wanted to confirm that no extra time ran off there. You can see the clock should have stopped right there when the ball hit out of bounds at 6:54. So great camera work. I can't talk tonight, right? Great camera work for our crew in the back with FDN Sports. Not something you usually see reviewed in the first half, just because those extra seconds may not mean a lot, but in a game like this, they could.
No, you do appreciate from an officiating standpoint that they want to make sure that this game, there's no question whether or not it was officiated right or if they, missed or didn't miss something. As Coach Ethan Whaley's talking with Preston again, I think you guys are best friends now.
Yeah,
right?
Well, I think he's asking why were they coming to review something just to put 5 or 6 seconds back on the clock? Kind of the discussion we were having. But I guess maybe if it were a call against his team, he might want it the same way. At the end of the day, it's 6:54, 23 seconds on the shot clock, which I'm now confused about as well because it should have been 13. So we'll just roll with it.
Well, everything's all sorted out, right?
Akers.
At least we hope.
To Sheets, the freshman in her first Crossroads League action, has it stolen away by Frazier. Now she pushes it back against Sheets and scores with the left hand.
It's exactly the player that you do not want to get rolling if you're Huntington. Turning the ball over and getting Frazier a 2. It's a player that hasn't been able to get off to the start she's wanted to, but she's gotten some help certainly from her teammates.
Nelson nearly traveled. Shank tries scoring her first field goal. Nelson still on the ground, and she's going to be called for a personal because she got under the feet of some Wildcats. And it's a 3-point lead, as you see right inside your living room here. Annika Nelson nearly stepped on a couple of times. Thankfully, she's okay, but does pick up her second personal.
Not a ton of fouls called on the floor like that, literally. Cross that off the bucket list, I guess.
Frazier will walk it across. She is up to 10 now. It's a sneaky 10 because it doesn't feel like she's had that massive impact tonight, but she does on every game, and now Melby takes it away from Folkema. Melby across the timeline. This hounding defense pressures you for all 90 feet. Again, Nelson, loose ball, jump ball. And we'll see which way the arrow is pointing. I believe it's the Foresters' ball. Another discussion with the officials, and it will be Huntington's ball. A couple more subs coming in. We're going to see Corinne Grivey for the first time tonight. Jasmine Griffin comes in as well. Fun fact, I went to school at Ball State with Corinne Grivey's older sister.
Okay.
She was in the Ball State Sports Link program. She's now
Nice.
a video producer for the Miami Dolphins. So
Okay.
I know that
Interesting.
name, and that was not one I had to check on the pronunciation guide.
Well, that's an advantage. And you'll take it where you can get it.
Melby leaves a 15-footer short. Frazier has another rebound. A little bit of a stagnant offense here now for Huntington. Left side drive, fouled at the rim. Kellum's whistled for another personal. Jasmine Griffin, a couple of free throws coming.
Just got that hand a little bit over. I was waiting to see if that contact happened, if the hands were just straight up or not, and just at the last second you saw just a slight shift, and that's going to bite you in the butt.
First free throw up and in by Jasmine Griffin. Just a sophomore. She's one of the younger players who gets a lot of time on this team. 31 games last year as a freshman. 4 games of 10+. She's not necessarily a big scorer, but just once again, one of those good defenders, smart, high IQ basketball players that Coach Whaley likes to recruit. Melby gets doubled, has to find an option, goes far side to Yoakum, who's wide open, had that tipped on the shot and kept in by Frazier. Lily running right back at Melby, spins to the left and scores. Pretty move. She is tough to stop.
Especially with a move like that, was just able to slip in and get an easy 2 on the left side.
Another steal almost for the Wildcats. Hartsoe takes her first shot of the night. Nothing there for the Foresters, and it's really starting to pile up against them currently. They have been held for quite some time with no points on the board.
Yeah, Huntington has just not been able to get many open shots tonight, and some of the shots that they are able to get have been really heavily contested. We saw it here in the corner just a second ago with Yakim taking the shot, and she was open for a split second, but was able to close out on the shot.
And it seems like Coach Whaley and his staff, they are asking Huntington to swing these long passes over the top and then take closeout threes. They're willing to risk that. Frazier inside catches between 2 defenders, scores again. She's up to 14.
Yeah, this is last couple minutes. Frazier's just been able to start playing her game. Not necessarily struggling in the first quarter, but just wasn't able to, find the open looks that she's wanted. But now establishing the dominance here. Huntington needs somebody to respond.
Melby had the high hand to start. Akers fires her first 3. Huntington just cannot get the lid off the rim right now. Frazier grabs another rebound. Backing down, Raby. Lawrence, backdoor pass, Frazier. Can't get the up and under finish, and I think she was just whistled for her second personal.
Yeah, Huntington's lucky that did not go through, because she had an open reverse lay-in right there. Huntington just was unable to get a hand in there on Frazier, but she misses the shot, and that's going to help the Foresters here if they can take advantage of it. Again, they just need to hit some shots.
Yeah, and that's her second. The foul trouble hasn't been as big of an issue here in the second quarter. 7 total fouls. Coach Whaley wants this pressure to continue. They're willing to double each time a Forester gets stuck in any sort of corner. Yoakum, quiet so far. Good defense by Grivey. Dropped in. Raby looking to get it going and does right at the rim.
It's a really nice possession there by Huntington. Take advantage of the missed shot from Frazier and get a 2 on the board. See if they can make another good defensive stop.
Wesleyan, great ball movement. Left corner 3, in and out for Folkema. Again, another offensive rebound. Kellum was there, just couldn't grab it away. Melby's got to be careful with those 2 fouls. Another corner from Grivey this time rolls in and out. Melby grabs it, gets it to Raby. The Foresters off and running. Kellum trying to go to the rim. She's going to be called for a charge. And that is now Kellum's third, if I'm not mistaken.
I will have to check you on that, but just trying to take it. She's been having kind of a rough start tonight. Wanted to put the team on her shoulders for a play here and get some of the scoring going, and just a little bit too much aggression. Was able to pick up the block.
And that is her third.
Yep.
So that's probably going to be the end of the first half for Bailey Kellum. Only 3 points. Keep in mind, she had 30 against IWU last year in this arena. Well, Coach Whaley and his staff, they had different plans this time. To the rim, an easy score for Lawrence. And now this Wildcats offense, who got a lot of work done at the free throw line the first quarter, looks a lot better here in the open court to start the second. Sheets going to hold a lot of responsibility. The freshman from Columbia City weaves inside. Nelson has not made a three tonight, is blocked from behind, but it's going to be a shooting foul as Annika gets 2 free throws.
This will be on Fulcum. It looked like all ball to me.
Pretty
but
good
again,
block.
like you and I say, you will take them when you can get them. Huntington will not apologize for making some free throws here if Nelson can do that.
I think you do not get the benefit of the doubt when you come from behind a shooter. Even when you block them clean, a lot of times I think you see that whistle. Not that it's the right call, but it seems to be called a lot. Nelson does make good on the first and the second. She had a fan in the comments earlier, Bella Whitmer checking in. Checking out Nelson tonight. You guys can always leave comment. Tell us where you're watching from, whether you're a Wildcats fan, a Forester fan, a fan of college basketball. Yeah,
and be nice to us. Tell us the good things that we are saying.
But seriously, tell us where you're watching from. We'd love to give you a shout out and hope you're enjoying it. This most viewers we've had for a women's game all year long, and for good reason. Lawrence just had the last 2. Spins to her left. Tough bucket. Now she's getting it going. She only averages 3.9 points per game. She's over that on the last 2 possessions. Melby just being hounded by the defense. Nelson again floats it up short. Rebound pulled down by Izzy Reed. Wildcats keeping the pace going. Another whistle against Nelson, and more free throws coming. Nelson gets her third, and it's going to be Kelleher who heads to the line.
All of this has been really just done in the paint, and that's what the Wildcats want to do. They want to establish those points down low by the block, those easy 2s, and they shoot just about better than anybody in the country when it comes to that.
Kelleher, the freshman from Carmel, Indiana. She went to Westfield High School. She is now 9 for 9 from the free throw line this year, averaging 3.7 points per game. Great passer as well. That's a young piece that I'm sure will turn into a really good player. She already is. Akers, crossover. Huntington did not get it across in time. It is a 10-second violation, and that has been the story of the first half. The Foresters just cannot take care of the basketball.
Man, just what a defensive possession from Indiana Wesleyan. I think true basketball fans would love to see just the effort that they're putting on the defensive side. It's become such an offensive game, and Indiana Wesleyan and Huntington certainly good offensive schools, but good old-fashioned defense will just be able to get to them where they're at right now in an 11-point advantage.
9 turnovers, nearly a double-digit, or added on to the double-digit lead by Wesleyan. There was an easy miss there at the rim. And now a foul on the Wildcats as Shank yanked down this miss and was fouled by Izzy Reed. And the Foresters are in the bonus, so maybe a chance to cut into this lead.
Addie Shank at the line for the Foresters.
Shank, 2 points on the night, both of them coming from the free throw line. For a taller center at 6 foot tall, she's an excellent free throw shooter. Seen that so far this year, and of course.
That was your fault, Preston. You know better than that.
It's a real thing, I swear. She does miss the first.
That's the announcer jinx.
Yeah. Was perfect on the night before that. Now 3 of 4, so still good. Just unfortunate to make her miss the first.
You know, I've always tried to learn how to do the reverse jinx thing. Carson and I spent a lot of time trying to figure out that, and it never worked, which is unfortunate because we certainly jinx them when we say, hey, you're shooting free throws really well, and they will miss the next one on cue.
Offensive foul now, moving screen on Lawrence. Take a look there. That is right here. That is a tough whistle on Lawrence as well because Yoakum was just trying to work through, but they've been consistent both ways. Even Coach Whaley just said that might have been a tough call, but it's consistent. Yoakum fires another three, finally gets one to go. HU cuts it to 7.
That is a big shot for this Foresters team that loves to make and take threes. They have not done that tonight, just 3 of 9 now from deep.
Long pass, baseball type, so it looked like Derek Jeter there across the diamond. Kelleher threw it over to the left. 3-ball not there. Laura Valiente in for the first time, grabs the miss. Up ahead, Shank. See if the Wildcats can keep it in. They will not, and it'll be the Foresters' ball. It's a big possession here, Ryan. I know it's early in the game, but you cut this to 5 or 4 before the half, you feel so much better.
I was just about to say, too, just with the way that they've been shooting the ball tonight, it's just not the way they've wanted to, not the way that they've been doing so far. And to beat the Wildcats, that's what you got to do. You got to be able to shoot.
Melby drops the defender and drops the 3. She is unconscious, has 20 of the 37. Unreal from Gabi Melby. Final shot for the Wildcats is up and short, and there is some of that momentum, and it was all from the senior Gabi Melby, who had a phenomenal first half, and now will be joined by Coach Darby Maggard, who maybe a few minutes ago didn't have a smile on her face, but now it feels a little better. We just talked about grabbing some momentum before the half. Well, it seems like your senior guard, Gabi Melby, had all the momentum. 20 of the 37 in the first half.
She came to play today. I'll say that, Preston. She came to play today.
Okay, and so, sorry.
You're good.
There's a lot going on. Turnovers, rebounding. That was kind of the issue last year in this game when you guys had a lead into the half. How do you turn that around in the second half against this really good Wesleyan defensive team?
Well, so right now, they're getting way too many offensive rebounds.
Yeah.
They're getting too many chances at it. And if, to me, right now, if we limit those, we're in a much better position. And, let me give them all the credit in the world because they're really, really, really good at offensive rebounding. They're a really good team. We have to figure out a way, and this, to me, is a focus and a finish type of thing. We have to focus and finish on the rebound because we're doing okay on the defensive side. We're getting posted up a little bit too much. But they are missing some shots, and then we're giving them a second one or a third one, and they're sticking those in. They're a really great basketball team. And so, anyway, if we focus on that, I think we'll be okay.
All right, Coach. Only down 4 against the number 2 team in the country. We'll see you back out here for the second half.
Thank you.
Coach Darby Maggard handing it back to Ryan. Off button going off for me.
Hello.
It's been a little all over the place tonight, Ryan. But, hey, a great basketball game, 41-37. We're going to take a short break and then come back for some stats in the second half between the Huntington University Foresters and the Indiana Wesleyan Wildcats.
Feature filmmaking is going to be able to help us students make student films better, stronger. We have to keep our responsibility and be respectful to everyone. No matter what we're doing, where it's still there on student films, but it's really pushed on these features because you have to be responsible, and if something's not done, that falls back on you. And I think that's really showing people whether or not they can handle this industry or not.
I spend a lot of time observing everything around me and taking in what it looks like for a professional to be doing something in their field, which, none of us have ever experienced who have not been on one of these. Like, we've only ever experienced amateur student film, level.
I'd really like to see that a lot of sophomores and juniors that were on the capstone film really take what they learned and apply that to their films.
Just having industry professionals kind of being there, guiding you, but also expecting quality work out of you. I think it's a good pressure to have on you.
My name is Nicholas Archer.
Bree Allgaier. I am a sophomore.
I'm a junior, a worship ministry major.
I'm double majoring in youth ministry and theology, and I am on Livingston 3rd.
And I'm on Ray 2nd. I have this position, and I get to meet once a week with my floor to talk about God and stuff. And of course, you can minister without having a title like that. It's just opened up a bunch of doors with guys just because they view me as a spiritual leader. So they get to come to me, and I'm very blessed and humbled by that.
Having a spiritual leader in people's lives is just an important thing to have. So we get to build relationships with so many different types of people. Even if they're not necessarily a Christian, we get to show the love of Jesus. And if the person doesn't want to talk about Jesus, it's nice because we're not forced to talk about Jesus to them. But also just being someone on the floor that girls know that they can come and talk to, whether it's spiritual, personal needs, or any other questions. And I've been able to speak truth into them, which has been really, really nice.
God is just moving in revival. It's as simple as that. People are starting to encounter Him more. People are hungrier. People are seeking His face. God's just ready to pour out His Spirit, and He's been doing that. I do shower devotionals. So when the guys are taking a shower, I put a devotional in there so when they're washing, they can read it. And I've had a lot of good conversations come out of that.
A lot of people on this campus come from broken homes, and a lot of people come from other countries, and just being able to be seen as someone that loves Jesus and someone that desires to lead people is just incredible, because that's something I want to do for the rest of my life, to lead people.
I feel that I've grown more in leadership being a Sojourner. I mean, you're leading people every Thursday and basically every day. It's just been really, really cool. Very blessed, very, very, very blessed.
I could have just been rambling, but I don't know.
As the owner of JJ's, I invite you to visit one of our 7 BP convenience stores. And when you do, I expect you will experience hometown excellence in the cleanest and friendliest convenience stores in your community. Please also consider visiting JJ Java for the best cup of coffee in town, or JJ's Pit Stop for a quick, no appointment necessary professional oil change. Also, if you ever need a clean and efficient environment in which to do laundry, JJ's washroom is ready to serve you.
Bippa State Bank is a cornerstone of the community. Our banking building blocks were assembled in 1911 and haven't differed much since then. We still stay true to our local roots, aiming to support, uplift, and celebrate the citizens and businesses of Huntington. As proud lenders to and patrons of our local businesses, we make our community an even more prosperous place. And when you support local banking, you play an important role in Huntington's success stories. No matter what financial products you may need, your business is an invaluable opportunity for us to strengthen our relationship with Huntington, which we're fortunate enough to call home. Bippa State Bank is banking at its best. We believe in community banking.
I can't talk, I have a showing.
Listen.
My clients are arriving any minute.
Eleanor. Mom passed.
I think it'd be best if you all go to hotels, for Dad's sake.
I didn't get to say goodbye.
You said goodbye when you never came home.
To me, Forester Camps is learning new things.
Definitely a lot of fun.
To me, Forester Camps is a great experience.
A great way to explore different opportunities.
There is a lot of really cool activities and opportunities you can get here. It's really informative on how college actually is, and the people are really nice.
Something that everybody can find something that interests them.
All the professors, all the faculty, they're intentionally welcoming to us.
You learn a lot here and you learn it well.
It was a camp that had so much to offer, like everything I was interested in. It was
being taught here. It was like I couldn't really pass it up.
And it's fun too. It's something that like people can be engaged in and have a great time, but also still learn life lessons and lessons about the Bible.
Super fun, but also super educational. Like they took the education process and made it fun.
To me, Forester Camps is making new friends.
I hoped that I would be able to make more friends who have not really been around much.
I was also kind of hesitant because like I'm an introvert, but I got some new friends.
Some of my favorite experiences were like, just getting out and talking to people with similar interests. People who are passionate with like the same thing that you're passionate with.
To me, Forester Camp is fellowship.
To me, Forester Camps is getting to be a home away from home, I guess.
Great way to experience life here at Huntington University.
You meet a lot of different people from either from all over the world or here at campus. A lot of different backgrounds, a lot of different personalities, and I think that's a really good opportunity.
To me, Forester Camp is like engaging.
To me, Forester Camps is amazing.
A great opportunity to learn about what you want to pursue in life.
A space to learn new things in a safe environment.
Inspiring.
A good look in on the real college experience.
You don't really have anything to lose by coming to the camp. I think a lot of people are scared to take that risk. I could promise you that you wouldn't be bored or not have a good time here.
Something only happens one time in the universe. It never happens exactly the same. So like, you better take your opportunity while you can.
To me,
Forester Camps is
a lot of different opportunities with a little bit of Jesus mixed in.
To me, Forester Camps is definitely a lot of fun.
Fantastic.
Telling.
Something that everybody can find something that interests them.
A space to learn new things in a safe environment.
To me, Forester Camps is getting to be a home away from home, I guess. You learn a lot here and you learn it well.
I plan on being an author once I'm done with college, so this seemed like a really fun opportunity for me.
I was just glad to meet new people in general and just kind of enjoy the workshop and just take away what I can from it and make myself a better writer.
That whole thing about how to write for musicals, I'd never even thought of that before, but that was awesome.
Awesome first half here in the women's game, 41-37, Indiana Wesleyan in front, but a great first half by Gabi Melby. She has 20 of the 37, and of course, you could expect the same from Indiana Wesleyan's star player, Lily Frazier, had 14. You see the shooting percentages there. Biggest thing that stands out, and it's not going to show on this graphic, offensive rebounding for Indiana Wesleyan and turnovers for Al killed the Foresters. Somehow, though, you look up, you're down 4, you got to feel okay about that.
Yeah, that's something that Coach Maggard said right before the break. It's just way too many offensive rebounds, and Huntington, on the flip side, has not been able to do that themselves. But if you tuned into the broadcast with 2 minutes left to go in the half and you saw what was going on, you thought, wow, Huntington's really kind of taking it to the Wildcats here. But really, it was kind of a stagnant first couple periods here for Huntington, and it's a team that makes a ton of threes. Of course, Coach Maggard wants them to shoot a ton, and they've only gotten 10 of those off, and really it's been because of those, the rebounding advantage, it's been the turnovers, and Wildcats are just pesky on defense. It's been really hard to get any sort of shot off, but once the Foresters start to catch fire a little bit, start to find some rhythm, you can see what can happen. And as poorly, I guess, you know, not to be too critical, but like as poorly or not up to their standard that they've played so far, they're still down by 4 against one of the best teams in the country. So win or lose, I do think Huntington has a ton to take away from this game tonight.
We'll see how they come out here in the second half. The second game of the night will be the men's game. Check out the fellows warming up in the auxiliary gym. They're getting set to take on the number 3 men's Indiana Wesleyan team. It's also Hoops for Hope night. Am I saying that correctly? We'll talk about that a ton in the men's broadcast as we move on and talk about that. But man, the men's, they have a big game in front of them. They're off to the best start in program history since 2013-14. A couple of names back in those days. Well, one of them, Shane Merriman. He's in our intro for hitting probably the longest buzzer beater in Forester history. An exhilarating top play on SportsCenter the following day, and we'll see those guys up next. But we still do have 20 minutes left in this first half, Ryan, and we do have some people being nice in the comment section.
Thank you.
Jordan Reed, who is a former Indiana Wesleyan women's basketball player. She started every single game for him last year. She's tuning in from a bus. So I don't know if she's on their bus outside. I think she graduated from New Palestine, Indiana. Might be a coach. That's a common trend now, so maybe tuning in from a bus with a high school team, something like that. And then Ella Riggs, who actually plays basketball at Purdue Fort Wayne, or did, is tuning in as well. Lance Clark, everyone knows him here in Huntington.
I know that name, yes.
He's tuning in as well. And then I'm not sure if I'm going to say this, DeFrecker channel. Hopefully I'm not canceled after that. Vamos Gatos, which is Let's Go Cats in Spanish. I did take that for a while in college.
I think now I'm not not an expert in Spanish. I think they're rooting for Indiana Wesleyan.
Yeah. I just want to make sure I wasn't saying that incorrectly. I did have to get my Spanish going during the soccer season as well because you know, Indiana Wesleyan, when they met up with Huntington, there's a lot of international flair. There's not a ton of that here in this game, but we have Laura Valiente for our women's side. Saw her for a short time. Either way, we're just babbling at this point. We got a 4-point game between two really good teams. This is exactly what you would dream of when the conference season starts.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, this is the first game for both of these teams. I mean, you look at your non-conference schedule, both teams playing some ranked opponents and picking up some wins. IWU coming in at 7-0, Huntington 4-2. And then you look at the conference schedule and you go, whoa, we got to start off with who? But really, you could just draw a name out of a hat. You're probably not going to be very pleased with what you pick, even if it's a team that was at the bottom of the conference. I think tonight, men's and women's, I think all the teams in the Crossroads League don't have a losing record. They're either 500 or they have a winning record. That's incredible. But that's Indiana basketball, for one, as most of the teams reside there. But that's just how the Crossroads League has ran things forever.
Back into action now as Indiana Wesleyan will start with it. Huntington shot the better percentage in that first half, but IWU with Lily Frazier got a lot of these offensive rebounds. There's another one. It's been the main issue for this Forester team. Raby nearly takes it away, and it's as good as a takeaway as it's tipped out by Nutley. So I think I'm getting confirmation that Jordan Reed maybe now plays at Purdue Fort Wayne. She said go Dons now, so just making sure that's correct as Melby turns it over. So teams trade turnovers and Indiana Wesleyan gets it right back. It's cool to see alumni tuning back in. That's a real big thing in baseball. I know you know that.
Yes.
But they always are tuning back in, and soccer as well. Now we're starting to see that from women's basketball on the Wildcats side tonight. Even one of our former Huntington players, Emily Sebo, now Detmers on the sideline. Folkema can't get the roll, gets her own miss, puts it right back, and the story stays the same for the Foresters, just not getting defensive rebounds at the moment.
Yeah, it's already 2 offensive rebounds here to start the half. Indiana Wesleyan had, I think, 7 or 8 in that first half. They were able to get it right back in the bucket. And then there's another trend that seems to have continued, and that's turnovers.
That's 2 turnovers. Frazier trying to hit a big shot here early. Melby does grab the defensive board. She had 20 points in that first half. Finds Hartsoe, who fires and hits, and that's a big shot for her, her first 3 of the night.
We talked about it in the first half. Huntington's got to find 1 or 2 players to start contributing on the offensive side, and they got the talent to do it. Hartsoe is the one to step up here. Now it's a 3-point game.
Volkema swings it up top. A wide open Izzy Reed answers right back. She had a tremendous first quarter, and now she's off to a nice start in the third.
Wildcats aren't particularly great at shooting from beyond the arc, at least not as good as Huntington coming in. So if they can get any sort of 3-point advantage, it's another turnover here. That's going to be huge for the Wildcats.
Hartsoe's had a couple of up and down possessions, 2 turnovers and a 3, and now Volkema gives it right back. You know, I'm going to throw a name out there that a lot of these fans are going to know tonight. Lily Frazier was so good last year, but there was someone named Ella Collier at Marion for a long time. She actually transferred to Purdue, has started a couple of their games, and now Frazier probably the player of the year to watch. But we just talked about it. You look at the teams and the records, this conference is incredible in nearly every sport year in and year out. Melby trying to keep the hot hand. That one too strong, nearly found its way down. Frazier with another board.
I know it's the women's side of things, but we saw a lot of transfer portal acquisitions from the Crossroads League to Division I schools.
We'll definitely talk about that in the men's game as well, because there's a couple of guys that we'll talk about from Indiana Wesleyan and Huntington who are on big-time programs now. It just tells you they're not that far off, and we've seen that over the years. Raby puts it on the floor, got stopped, and then traveled. That's the 3rd time she's walked tonight. And the turnovers just keep piling up for HU.
I think it's really just the presence of not only just getting down near the block and just raising her arms up, that 6-foot frame, and that senior leadership that she brings to Indiana Wesleyan on defense. It's just hard to get through and get a good shot off. So trying to go with plan B, it just ended up turning the ball over.
Left side looking for Nutley inside as it skipped up top. Griffin to Volkema. She puts it back on the floor, has a big size advantage. Backdoor cut. Frazier was bumped on her way. It should be on the floor, and it will be. It's going to be on Annika Nelson. That's another thing last year, looking back to what Coach Whaley and his team does. They back cut. Anytime they get a ball right around the free throw line extended, they're looking for a back cut, and that's what you saw there. I don't know what the discussion will be now. Maybe to see if it was a shooting foul or on the floor, but it will be on the floor, and then inbounds pass coming. This place is already packed, Ryan. It's going to be wild here the rest of the night.
Yeah, I know. That's, of course, the main event tonight, but folks getting a really good treat here with these two teams as well.
Volkema has another bucket. Now Taylor's starting to get it going as well. That's only her 3rd and 4th point of the night. She can get it going as Melby has gotten it going again with Raby.
Melby, she's one that I'm sure the Wildcats talked about in the halftime huddle, but this time able to draw a defender and pass it down low to Raby.
Frazier got Melby to fall there. It's a flopping warning on Melby, and Frazier still scores it. Now Melby pushes it the other way. Kellum has been quiet until now.
Well, that's how Huntington's going to have to stay in this game. They didn't shoot that great in the first half, but already a couple threes here early in the 3rd quarter. That's a good sign for Darby Maggard's team.
Nutley, top of the key. Frazier coming off the last 2. Drives into the trees, goes to her left, does it again. Frazier, an incredible scorer, now has the last 4. She's up to 16 to lead the way for the Wildcats. Huntington just trying to stay within striking distance at the moment. Backdoor cut, Yoakum this time, kept it in. Melby fakes the defender and knocks down another triple.
Where would Huntington be tonight without Gabby Melby? That was such a perfect fake.
Another 3 coming for the Wildcats. That too strong. Raby clears. Huntington a chance to make it a 2 or 1 point game. This is the best I've seen Melby play in a long time, Ryan. She's in complete control right now, and now gets a whistle called as we are approaching the under 5 media timeout. We got all kind of people tuning in. Rose Stanley saying that she really enjoys this matchup, one of the best Great game all the time. Let's go Wildcats. Thanks for tuning in, Rose. Tim Averill, softball coach here at Huntington. He's watching on the recruiting trail. And how about Ella Collier? We were just talking about you, Ella. We saw you do a lot of bad things in this arena. Great player now for Purdue. Anita Newcomb watching the Wildcats, cheering on Maddie Lawrence. Thanks for tuning in. Peggy Redmond, there will be a men's game next. And several other players and people joining in. Joyce Fryman, Let's Go Foresters. And right now, she's got to be clapping her hands because she's seeing the Gabi Melby show tonight.
She's had such a great night, and it's still not even close to being over. And she's definitely trying to will the Foresters on her back. And she's got 23 points already.
Melby.
Again,
gets that to go. Go ahead. Sorry.
Again, where would Huntington be without her tonight? And it's not a knock on the rest of her teammates. This just been a little bit of a slower night, or I mean, really more of what Indiana Wesleyan's pressure on the defense has done to them. Just have not been able to get good looks. So for her to be going off on a night like tonight, that's what keeps the Foresters down by 2 now.
She's got 25 to lead all scorers. HU back within 2. Inside drive, left-handed shot. Melby may have just had a hand on the hip there. It was actually Sheets that's called for the personal as she swatted the arm. And the left-handed Jasmine Green is going to head to the charity stripe. One more, by the way. Spartan 27. Let's go HU. Thanks for tuning in. Great crowd tonight at home here in the arena. I mean, this is awesome because in the past, these women's basketball games, they've not been as well attended. And that's something that Coach Darby Maggard has kind of brought with her. She was an insane player out of the Fort Wayne area. And now she's got these games packed. She's got people bought in. A lot of men's basketball fans are here to watch the women's as well. And it's awesome to see for the game. Gellum. It's Yoakum sidestep 3. No good. Shank grabs the rebound. Brought it down. Frazier ripped it away. Lily, another steal. Now trying to go to that spin move. Threw it to Yoakum. Does not have numbers, but Kendall still pushing the pace. Goes to the rim. Fouled on her way, and 2 free throws coming for her.
Well, just wanted to take it to the rim. If she had somebody open down low or not, she was going to either say, I'm going to go up for a shot or I'm going to pass this off, and she's able to draw a whistle. Now she'll go to the free throw line.
And she will do that after the under 5 media timeout. A chance to cut it to 2. Kendall Yoakum at the stripe when we come back on FDN Sports.
Hi, I'm Matthew Malone. I'm an ambassador to Backpacks of Hope. They hand out backpacks with winter stuff, gloves, socks, hand warmers, toothbrush, toothpaste, stuff to keep somebody that's homeless warm. The first place I heard about it was when I was homeless myself. Backpacks of Hope was valuable to me because starting me out with a backpack and with the essentials that I needed to move to the next step, I actually kept going. It gave me hope that people out there do care about the less fortunate. Anything helps. Food, clothing even, goes to the homeless or the unfortunate that need it. I just love what Backpacks of Hope has done. It's a great nonprofit organization, and it'll be around for years to come.
54-50, the Wildcats on top of the Foresters. You saw that little message in between our break there. The intermediate timeout was Hoops for Hope night. You guys will want to scan that all night long. We'll tell you more about that later on. Got Sadie Sondag, who's going to be doing some reporting for us in the men's game, and it's a big event tonight. It's a senior-led broadcast. It's a big donation night for Huntington University, and we hope that you guys can partake in that as the night gets a little older. Yoakum rolls that one in and out. As good of a shooter as Kendall is, it has been a little bit of a struggle at the free throw line, just 50%. She is an awesome three-point shooter, as she does split the pair, so keeps her pace there at 50%.
It's weird how that works, how some players can shoot so well everywhere until it's under the spotlight and you're at the free throw line. It's an art. It really can be just that skill that It's just too difficult sometimes. Some people can get it. It's like math. Some people can get it right away, or you're like me and you just never really figure it out.
Maddie Lawrence picks up the 4th foul on Bailey Kellum. And that is not a good sign if you're a Forester fan, because there is still 4:29 left in this 3rd quarter, and your best scorer, freshman of the year in the conference last year, is out of the game for quite a while now.
Yeah, it's going to have to come from Melby, of course, and some other Foresters that have picked up buckets. You know, we saw Hartso's 3, and we've seen Arabia get involved as well. But just going to have to do it without Kellum for now. Just hasn't been able to really just find any sort of space. That's a reflection on the Wildcats. You think they remember that game from last year where she dropped 30+. Want to make sure that never happens again. But another problem arises, and that's Gabby Melby.
She's on her way to 30. She's got 25 right now, handling that pressure. They actually told during one of the breaks in the first half, she actually had to go to the trash near her and throw up during the game going on as Sheets misses.
Wow.
Valiente. So I don't know if she's under the weather or maybe just the intensity of being guarded for 94 feet has gotten to her. But I heard that while I was out at the concession stand. Another offensive rebound is put up short and out of bounds on the Wildcats. So you can see Melby is barely sat, and she is expending all of her energy. Meanwhile, Indiana Wesleyan, they're much deeper than Huntington. That's not a shot at the Foresters. It's just the truth. They can bring waves of defenders at her, and it's hard to keep your momentum and your conditioning at that peak level for 40 minutes.
I don't think she's checked out tonight. Do you remember her checking out?
I can't remember. Maybe once for a short break in the first half for Sheets, who just missed the shot at the rim there. But if she did, it was for maybe a minute.
Yeah, very quickly. 31 minutes a night, which is, of course, 9 minutes short than a full game. But I'll tell you what, I don't think she's going to come out.
Especially in conference play, she's going to play more than that.
Yep.
10 on the shot clock. On the floor, Garber goes left. She finds Lawrence, who connects on a triple, and that is a big shot here.
Yeah, if Indiana Wesleyan can hit threes, it is just going to be really, really tough to be able to compete with that.
Nearly a turnover. Valiente gets it back, drives to the rim, gets it to Shank, who was bumped but couldn't get the bucket. A little bit of a wild play by the Foresters. Lawrence coming off that triple, spins to her right and scores. She's got 5 straight. Talk about someone who is having a coming out party tonight, averaging 4 points per game, and now Lawrence is up to 11 on the night. Yoakum tries to answer and does.
That's where it's got to come from. It's got to come from beyond the arc, and it can't be Melby all the time. Yoakum getting on the 3-point scoreboard that time.
She's up to 7 now, her second triple of the night. HU's starting to shoot it a little better, and right now Lawrence is feeling it, misses that 3, kept in by Sheets.
That was definitely on track, just a little bit short.
Valiente
definitely feeling it.
Quickly to Shank, spins and is fouled right at the rim, and now Shank a chance for a few more free throws. Really good freshman, and I like the pace that Valiente is bringing. She's not the scorer that Bailey Kellum is. She's a really good defender, a good ball handler, and she's someone that has a lot of experience in Crossroads League game here in her 3rd season. But she's pushing it up there, and she led to that last 3 as well by Yoakum. Shank up and in.
She's been pretty involved tonight, as you were just alluding to, the freshman Addie Shank. She's been getting involved. I mean, she's only playing less than 10 minutes a night. Kind of hard when there's so much talent in front of you, but when you get your opportunity on a night like tonight, you can really prove that you belong at this level, and she certainly does.
Frazier now has a double-double, grabbed her 10th rebound, 18 and 10 for her. That 3 is no good. Frazier grabs her 11th board. Looking for an assist now as Lawrence fires too strong. Another offensive rebound, almost won. And now Valiente back the other way. Mayo got away with the travel. Huntington pushing it back. Yoakum in and out dribble, got too far under the hoop, lost it. Shank on the 4, falls to Valiente. Yoakum trying to hit another 3. That would have been big, but just didn't go. time it's called a travel. This time it's on Kylie Bettinger. Haven't called her name a lot tonight. 20 games last year, 7 games this year. 37 of her 39 shots coming into tonight come from deep. So when she's in there, you got to guard that three-point line.
Such a crucial part in basketball, of course, as Steph Curry he has a lot to do with that, and how, especially at the college game, the three-point ball is just being shot. That's why it was important for Huntington to shoot well, and they are shooting well tonight. That's reflective on the scoreboard.
Foul on Indiana Wesleyan. That's the 5th. That'll put them over the bonus as Kendra Sheets was held up. That will be 2 shots as Sheets will head to the free throw line for the first time tonight. Sheets, the freshman from Columbia City, coming off a great game. Career high 15 points on 6 of 11, shooting 3 of 6 from downtown. And the reason that Coach Maggard recruited her was because she wants to recruit guards that led their teams for a long time in high school to successful records, and that's exactly the mold that Sheets fits.
And did it at a really, yes, I did. Okay, I get it now. Yeah, that's great, Preston. That's why you're here. Now, and did it at a great program too. And Columbia City was #1 for a little bit last year at high school basketball. So, and she wasn't even technically the best player on that team. Yeah. It was the Butler commit.
Melby has a steal. Chance for Huntington to grab this momentum. This feels a lot like the first half, but Frazier takes it away. Up in front, Lawrence, and instead of the momentum going the Foresters' way, kind of seesaws back towards the Wildcats. Huntington's got to get it in. Melby trapped and fouled. Don't know if it'll be on Frazier or on Reed. It's going to be on Frazier. That's her 3rd, and Melby has some more free throws.
Got bailed out a little bit on the foul call there. Not to say it was a bad call, but it's more of there was so much pressure back there, and it really just kind of gets the Foresters to escape and put Melby at the line rather than having to force a tough pass or try to wiggle around a couple defenders. So that could have gone really bad for the Foresters. Ends up, at least right now, really good with a free throw.
Melby has 26, now 27. She's 8 of 8 from the free throw line. 4 assists, 2 steals, 4 rebounds. She's done it all tonight. It's the most points she's scored this year. She's been close to a triple-double in some other games as well. She had 13, 8, and 9 in a game. She just kind of does it all, and that's why she was tabbed by Coach Whaley and other coaches across the league as a preseason first-teamer. And you've got to be this good with your other first-teamer out in Bailey Kellum.
Yeah, that's definitely true. It's been tough to see Kellum on the bench and just kind of struggling tonight, at least on the offensive end. But Melby has just fit the mold tonight and stepped in big.
Lawrence has had a huge 3rd quarter, and that continues with another spinning bucket. Melby going to have to fire one up from half court. Gabi's not going to get it off in time. And the Wildcats do extend their lead by 2 in the 3rd quarter. When we come back, we've got a fun 10 minutes left between the Wildcats and the Foresters on FDN Sports.
My name's Emma. I'm Zach's cousin, and I'm a board member on Backpacks of Hope.
My name's Allie, and I am Zachary's sister, and I am a co-founder of Backpacks of Hope.
What we put in our backpacks is items to keep the homeless warm, such as hats, gloves, blankets, and then a lot of sanitary items, and then just some non-perishable food items and water for them. And we started in the upstairs of my grandma's house, and after, I believe, Thanksgiving, so we would all get together and pack about, our first year was 50 backpacks, and just seeing us go from 50 backpacks to 2,000 was just really neat to see.
We may never know the lasting impact that we're having on them, but they're so excited and so thankful that they have items to get them through the next month or 2 months. I think that's the most impactful, but right there in those moments is all the impact that we need to see.
Thank you!
Hoops for Hope night, and it's the first night of the Crossroads League regular season. This has been as good as advertised tonight. 65-59, the Wildcats in front. They're the #2 team in the country, trying to keep their undefeated season going. Man, Huntington is staying strong. They just cannot get over the hump quite yet, Ryan.
Yeah, it just shows the difference between maybe experience and just the amount of talent that Indiana Wesleyan has. And Huntington has had such a great start to this season, had a really nice leap year last year as well, but Wildcats have been doing this for a while, and they've got some really strong returners that are showing up tonight.
Melby missed that one at the rim. Nutley grabs the loose ball, and now we'll push it forward with Taylor Folkema. Frazier, the leader on the team, over to Green. Most of the starters out there now for Indiana Wesleyan. Frazier inside. Folkema had it knocked away from Melby, loses the ball. Valiente picks it up a little too fast. Raby takes it away. Huntington has to get it across, and they do with Sheets. Backdoor cut. Yoakum able to catch. Her and Sheets not on the same page there. Kendall crosses over. Looked like a walk. Haven't seen Sheets make a three yet, but she's made some big one here in the early season. Melby gets through. Yoakum over again, needs one, and she's got it again.
You know, Melby had an opportunity maybe for a floater, but she knows all the defenders are going to be crashing on her, so she's going to find an open look somewhere, able to find Yoakum, and she hits from deep.
Yoakum, a 44% three-point shooter last year. Now Melby gets on the floor and keeps it alive for HU. Huntington a chance again to cut it to 2 or tie this one up. Look for Yoakum again here, Ryan. She likes to shoot another one right after she just made a previous one. Valiente doesn't take a lot of threes. Gets to the rim, puts it up, too short off the glass. Ripped down by Folkema. Good look for Lauda. Folkema inside, perfect pass. Nutley, big to big there. Folkema is a 5'11" guard, so you see her rebound it well, you see her inside, but she can do that as well, take it down the court.
Yeah, it's so tough to guard guards like that, no pun intended, but at that height and just that quickness and efficiency, that's the type of player that you want on your team for sure.
Melby, stuff in the stat sheet again, gets inside. Are they calling her out of bounds? They are. She did step on the end line. Unfortunate there for Gabi. You can see right here, just with that right foot, maybe got a toe on the line. Great look again by our cameramen and women tonight. It's an all-student crew besides you and I tonight. Graduate of Huntington, Ryan Walker.
Yes.
Graduate of Ball State, longtime Forrester fan, Preston Husband, coming to games here since I was like 6 or 7.
Yep.
Watched games when Steve Platt, who the arena's named after, was coaching. Shove in the back from Yoakum as Folkema was trying to get the rebound. The first on the Foresters here in the fourth quarter. But what an excellent job these students do here at HU. I mean, this is a job. Yeah. This is not just a class. This is a job because they're putting on a production for a lot of viewers tonight.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with the last few years of what FDN has been able to do, and that's such a credit to the students and, of course, Professor Adam Widener, who's been kind of leading the charge. He was leading the charge before I got here and when I got here too, graduating a few years ago. But it's just incredible. We got cameras all over the place. Baseline, we got GoPro cameras up on the hoop, so it's just real impressive what they've been able to do, and I appreciate the hard work that they're doing. So
it's an excellent broadcast. The quality just keeps getting better and better. Nutley falls away from about 4 feet, couldn't get it to go. Second shot, no good. Free ball down low, and it was last touched by Frazier, who was going after it. But even when the Wildcats, there's our crew in the back. Hello, guys. Adam Widener there in front, the professor leading this crew. I love that from the students here at HU. They're excellent. And even if I get a little feisty on replay reviews, they're still here to back me up as Nelson knocks down a 3 to make it a 2-point game. This is the closest the Foresters have been in a long time.
Just when you thought the Foresters were going to be out of it, they bring the crowd back into it with a couple threes. The Foresters are fighting back, and they are as alive as ever here in the fourth quarter.
Down 2, we've reached a media timeout. Coach Whaley needs to talk some things over. When we come back, the final 6:49. Foresters looking for an upset.
I saw Forester Camp when I was at school. It said health science, and I'm like really interested in medicine.
I was really set on nursing, but I didn't know any else like biology, chemistry, things like that. So health science was able to broaden my spectrum and learn more things in the science world.
It's opened my mind to a lot of things in the medical field. I'm definitely taking away a lot of knowledge that I didn't have before. Also a lot of new friends.
I was also kind of hesitant because like I'm an introvert, but I got some new friends.
There isn't just like one set biology you can do, from microbiology to biochemistry. So knowing my options is something that I'm gonna take away.
I'm wanting to learn about health sciences and like God is all through health. Like God created all of us. That's pretty freaking cool.
One of the greatest opportunities I've had for my profession in the future.
If you're interested in something, or if you want to go to college, or if you want to make friends, go.
67-65. Buckle up for the final 6:49. Preston Husband, Ryan Walker, the rest of the FDN Sports Crew. This is just game 1 of 2. We're in for a fun night in Platt Arena. Those girls right there playing hard against the #2 team in the country. You can see we're adding every single camera angle possible as Coach Deja Drake and Emily Todd, Bailey Kellum, who's been in foul trouble over there on the bench. Everyone's involved, and you can see the spirits are high as this game is still tight.
Yeah, my spirit is definitely high here tonight, coming back to my alma mater and calling these games. Again, 4 ranked teams all tonight.
Frazier got to the rim. A couple of Forester fans maybe thought it was all ball. Instead, Lily's heading to the free throw line. You'll get a good look right here. Sheets reached in from behind again, and it's one of those, if you get behind the offensive player, more times than not, you're going to be whistled. Frazier misses it, and some of the Huntington fans are saying, ball don't lie, as it's still just a 2-point game.
You know, it's always tough being a basketball official. Things are just happening so quickly all the time. And, you know, Carson Watkins and I always would go back and forth just talking about officiating. And I argue it's the toughest sport to officiate. I mean, there's only a couple of you guys, and how fast the action is and how close it is. You have to really get it down to the nitty-gritty. Go ahead.
Sorry, Nelson just had that big 3, missed that floater too strong.
I'm just saying, we look at a replay in slow motion, frame by frame, we go, oh, that's a terrible call, but we're watching it in slow motion.
3 on the way for the Wildcats. Another offensive rebound by Frazier. She's got 13 boards. Shot fake drive, great ball movement again. Nutley connects, and the Wildcats have just had an answer for every Forester run.
You just look at the timeouts that teams take and see what happens. This whole crowd was getting into it. It was a 2-point ball game, and real quick, Wildcats get right back, swing the momentum to them again.
Yoakum puts it back on the floor, had it knocked away by Folkema. Well, we've got a break and play. I've got 2 college roommates tuning in tonight, Tyler Green and Miles Jenna. Miles is a lead singer for the band called The Wonderlands. So if you're ever interested in looking for some new music, all over all streaming platforms, free shout out from FDN Sports, mostly Preston Husband, as Melby gets another shout out. She's up to 29 and a chance for 30.
It is just, wow. That's a great shot. I mean, you're falling back towards the baseline, almost behind the basket, and you're still up to get your team a bucket and collecting a foul in the process and cashing in on that for a 3-point play. That's impressive.
9 for 9 from the charity stripe. She has 30 of the 68. Huntington back within 3. Indiana Wesleyan has had an answer each time the Foresters get a little closer. See which Wildcat wants to answer now. Folkema, 21 versus 21 here. Bounce pass finds Raby. Huntington again, a chance to tie or cut it to 2. I think I'm calling 32's number, Ryan.
Well, so far she's got the ball in her hand, and no matter what, she's going to draw some defenders, so she also might be able to dish it out too.
Tried going to Nelson again. She had that big 3 a little earlier. Now it's Sheets who fires. Too strong, nearly drops back in on the second attempt. Folkema with another rebound.
And it's still a really good look, though, from Huntington.
Another good look for Indiana Wesleyan. A miss as Nelson pulls it away. She wants to push it. She has numbers, goes to Melby, who's up to 32 now.
Uh-oh, and she has gone down. She grabbed her leg as soon as she scored that. And that is not a good sign no matter who the player is. As soon as she made that, she made an awkward fall to the ground. She is in some serious pain. That is unfortunate.
You see right away she was almost asking for someone to come and stretch that leg back, as this is just so unfortunate to see Melby having maybe a career night. And now we're going to kick it to a break as the Wildcats are up 1. Melby in some pain, and we'll see if she's going to be able to come back when we come back.
I have a motorcycle, a Nighthawk 750. My dad always had a motorcycle. Like, when I was born, I'm pretty sure he had one. He was a motorcycle cop for a while, actually, for a good amount of his career. So I've basically just grown up with motorcycles all my life. Had to go so I could get my motorcycle endorsement and soon to be my license. I was scared of falling, especially for some of those sharper turns, like U-turns especially, is they expect you to go like feet are almost touching the ground with how far you're tilting. As long as I was able to get back onto that bike and just keep going, that's really what made me like less afraid, made me less scared, because that's something that my dad always said is you get right back on the bike even if you fall. I'm just happy I did it overall. I'm Dylan Rollator, and I'm the next Rollator to ride.
(71-70), the Wildcats in front. The good news for Forester fans, Gabi Melby did walk back off the court. There she is right there. Ryan and I are trying to figure out exactly what happened. I think it could have happened on the plant. The way she reacted as soon as she needed like a stretch, someone to stretch her leg, made me think cramp. Either way, she's walking on her own, and that's what we're mostly thankful for. For the Foresters, though, she's going to have to take a little break. She has 32, 5, and 4. Kellum back in with those 4 fouls.
Yeah, I was going to say it's quite the option to have off the bench to replace Melby for the time being. And now it's kind of up to the rest of the team to pick up where she left off.
Frazier against Sheets, gets the whistle on her way to the rim. It's a 2-shot foul as Lily continues to work at the charity stripe tonight. You see Sheets here. It's a little too much body as Frazier couldn't get it to fall. Frazier has shot 7 free throws tonight. Coming in, 69% free throw shooter as she knocks in another one. She's now 6 of 8 from there this evening. Standing room only. You see the fans making their way in. There's not going to be much room for many more people in here tonight. We get ready to tip off the men's game coming up next, but we've got a good 4:30 left in this women's game. Sheets, freshman, under a lot of pressure here against a great defender in Mattingly. Swing pass, Hartsoe. She has 1 triple tonight. Sheets this time could have gone to the rim. Instead goes to Raby. Now 8 on the shot clock. Kellum the playmaker. Double team out to Nelson. Shot goes up from Annika. Nearly banks it in. Not a good possession there for HU. Great defense by the Wildcats.
Yeah, I was just going to say that's great defense from Indiana Wesleyan. They just, double teamed where they needed to. Wasn't allowing Kellum to get in, and really just was able to switch and get on the ball quickly and force a bad shot.
Frazier right back to work against Sheets. Got her own miss. Spins in between defenders. Missed another one and then picks up her 4th. 2 shots that you never see Lily Frazier miss, and she just did there. And the biggest development, as mentioned, that's 4 fouls. There's still 3:30 left.
Yeah, I know. Foul trouble is kind of what Indiana Wesleyan has gotten themselves into. Of course, we've seen it with Kellum, and Melby is also just checked back into the game, so good to see that she's back. But Huntington got very lucky that Frazier was able to, not able to, but missed those last couple shots.
Nelson takes another tough shot. Back-to-back tough looks for Nelson. Raby had good position inside. Now the Foresters have to play defense again. Every possession matters down the stretch. Frazier playing with 4. Kellum playing with 4. Melby back in there following the injury. Nutley catches. Raby holds her ground. Swing pass finds Folkema. She puts it on the floor. Spins to her right, back to her left. Raby clears, now has to find a guard. It's Melby. Kellum, left side. That's Sheets instead. Can't get it to go. Bailey, I thought, was the one on the left. It was actually Kendra Sheets. Tried tying it up, just can't get that one shot to get them back even. Still a great look. You'll take that all night.
Exactly. It's not like the Forsters are taking bad shots every possession. They're getting open, just some of them not falling right now. Still some time to do it, but you got to play good defense.
Frazier is going to go to the baseline this time, as that's just the 4th team foul, 1 away from the bonus. She has done a lot of work on Sheets. Sheets, the freshman, is doing her best, but she's only 5'6". Frazier's 5'10", and has played in this league for 4 years as one of the best players. That's a tough guard for Kendra. And that's why you see the switch here. It's now Yoakum, who's 6'1", and has had some experience in this league in the game. And another foul, this time offensive on Folkema, and HU gets the ball right back.
Well, something had to go Huntington's way, whether they created it or they didn't. Here they didn't create it, but they will certainly take it.
That's Folkema's 4th, so 2 of the best players for Wesleyan now with 4 fouls. Huntington's best player has 4 as well. And again, Huntington a chance to cut it to 1 or tie it up. Kellum has had that quiet night. Drives left, gets to the rim this time and makes it a 1-point game. Don't see that a whole lot from her, but she's getting better at it.
Yeah, well, you're going to have to do it at some point. Melby will probably be double teamed for most of the night. Somebody's got to come step in. That time it was Kellum.
Coach Whaley wants a timeout. Less than 2 minutes left. I thought it was going to be a full. It's just going to stay at 30, so we'll stay right here and check this out. We've got the chopping block in town tonight. It's a blackout. A lot of the other athletes supporting the Foresters, and I love that camera view. It feels like you're in a big arena sitting down to watch basketball, and really it's just a little over 1,000. But man, these Huntington fans, they are true and they are proud of their teams.
I mean, it is going to be, and it is really already kind of shoulder to shoulder packed, and that's what you love about basketball. That's what you love about Indiana basketball. And boy, do we have a treat in this women's game. We'll have another treat later on, and you're going to want to stick in for that, because it's the men's game with Huntington and Indiana Wesleyan. Those two teams have clashed just like the women's teams have in the last few years, and it's kind of created this cool, maybe a little side rivalry. I don't know if it's a main rivalry for both teams yet. I mean, you'd have to ask, I guess, Alford and Maggart about that, but it's been a nice little battle between the two teams. And Indiana Wesleyan travels really well too, so it'll be a battle between the fans as well.
And they're about to build a $30 million basketball arena, so it's about to get a little nicer over there as well, as if it already wasn't.
It's like it was kind of like their response to Huntington doing their renovations.
Ours was only $17 million. Frazier is fouled by Yoakum. Whistle came late. We'll have to take a look at that one, but once again, it was one of those plays. Defender behind the ball. And that looked like Yoakum maybe got part of the ball, part of the hand. The benefit goes Frazier's way.
No, it's hard to tell who to give the benefit of the doubt to, the official or to the player, because when the player reacts like that, you have to think that she got all ball. And sometimes you see a replay and it's super slow-mo, high definition. You go, wow, yeah, I guess she did get a little bit of a hand in there.
Frazier has 21 and 14. She just missed that free throw. And that one's long as well, but Huntington cannot finish the possession with the defensive rebound. Hard to imagine that they just cannot get a defensive board right now.
That's 17 offensive rebounds tonight for the Wildcats. That's where they've gotten most of their points from tonight.
There's only 3 on the shot clock. Lawrence goes to work, throws it up. It's no good. And now Huntington a chance to take the lead. What a game.
This is such a crucial possession here for Huntington. They have a chance to go up here late in the fourth quarter.
Foul called this time, and now Indiana Wesleyan doesn't like it. And that, I think, is going to be the 5th on the guess. Huntington's going to be shooting free throws. Actually, it's just showing the 4th team foul, but it is the 5th on Mattingly. And now both teams will be in the bonus with defensive fouls or rebounding fouls the rest of the way.
That's such an important thing now with 1:12 left in the game. Any foul that was accidental or incidental, you didn't want to do it, well, it's going to end up costing you at the free throw line. And when it's a 1-point game, really to do that.
Belby has been the best player tonight, and she is going to go to the free throw line again as that's another touchy whistle. And now Folkema picks up her fourth, and things right now are getting heated for the Wildcats. Actually, that's Folkema's fifth, so she's gone, and that is such a tough whistle, Ryan. We've been talking about it. It's a tough job, but man, this is late game scenario. You got to let these players play it out and decide who's the best team tonight.
Yeah, we saw in a replay there, it might not have been a foul. I guess I can understand why you thought it would be. Sometimes the positioning leads you to believe that there was contact, but again, like we were just saying, that incidental contact has now got the Foresters up with the bonus free throws.
Huntington up 1. Now they got to play defense. Coach Whaley is going to call a timeout, and he's going to have a few words with the official too. It might be a full timeout, but we're going to stay here during this break. I want to say something to Kathy Geiger tuning in. She said, you need to read what the IWU IM Third Arena is about. Has nothing to do with Huntington doing their renovations. We were just messing around, Kathy, just so you know, like, we just have conversations like this to make it more interesting for people. We really, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter to us what Indiana Wesleyan is doing. We know they're a premier school in the Crossroads League in the NAIA. We know Coach Whaley. He's talked to us all night. We have nothing but respect for IWU, and I just wanted to clear that up because we're not taking shots. We've got nothing but good things to say about Indiana Wesleyan. We'll continue that for any school that comes into Platt Arena. We're just making a little joke.
Yeah, absolutely.
HU improved, now IWU improves.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was the one that made the they responded comment, I guess. And I think it's more of a good thing. I think it's cool traveling to other places. You know, one of my favorites was going to Grace, and it was fun seeing their big auditorium there. So, no, it's a really cool thing. And both Christian institutions,
we want the NAIA to be this good and this cool. We're advocates for it. Biggest defensive stand in Coach Maggard's young career. These Foresters can't get a stop as Nutley scores. And now Coach Maggard needs a timeout. That was too easy for Nutley inside.
That's kind of Indiana Wesleyan's bread and butter. You know, they shoot so well in the paint, and that's kind of their game. They're able to create easier shots. As you can see, Huntington was kind of trailing towards the middle of the paint rather than down low, drawing some of that attention. And that's able to get an easy bucket down low, and that's the difference right now, is that 2-point bucket gets them in the lead. So if you're Huntington, you really have to defend down low and maybe have to make them shoot a three. They come into this game shooting just 30% from beyond the arc. So the more that you can force them to shoot more outside, I think that bodes well in the favor of Huntington. And then it's the opposite for Indiana Wesleyan. The more that you can have them drive in the lane rather than taking open threes, the Foresters are good from deep, and they'll do it here. But yeah, that 1-point advantage, that certainly helps Indiana Wesleyan's case here. And you can see now they're up by 1 after that 2-pointer.
That is Frazier's first assist. So what a time to pick it out for her as she got it to Nutley. Huntington, if they go quick here, could technically get the last shot. We'll see if they choose to do so. I think I would. Inside, Raby has had a quiet night. Backs down against Nutley. Kellum open for 3, too strong. Nutley pulls it down. And now, since you didn't go quick, you gotta foul. There's only about 2 seconds of difference. Huntington's got to go get Frazier, and they do with Melby. I'm telling you, they had a good look with Kellum. She just has not had much of a flow because she hasn't played that much tonight.
Yeah, she's been kind of put under foul trouble watch tonight, and that kind of takes you off your rhythm, especially if you want to play aggressive or you're playing a team like this where you kind of want to take the ball and take control of the game, as we've seen her do time and time again. And maybe that's just taking her off of her rhythm a little bit tonight. Who knows?
Frazier knocks in the first. Kellum only has 8. This would be first game in quite some time inside Platt Arena that she hasn't been into double digits, if she doesn't score again. Frazier knocks down both of them, and now the advantage of the women's game is Coach Darby Maggart calls a timeout, can advance it to half court, and it'll be another 30-second timeout. So we will keep it here again. If you're Huntington now, I think you still have time to play for a quick 2, Ryan, but you are running out of timeouts as well, so eventually you're going to have to probably tie it with the 3 with Indiana Wesleyan at the free throw line.
Yeah, I doubt the Wildcats are going to come out of this timeout and say, "Yep, we're going to try to keep the paint kind of covered and just let them shoot a 3." Obviously, that's hurt the Wildcats tonight. Huntington's shooting really well, 43% tonight from deep, and of course they've done it all season long. But nothing's going to come easy. I think they'll apply some pressure, try to force another turnover, and Huntington's just got to stay calm, cool, and collected. And I'd like to see Melby get involved and try to drive the lane here, see what she can get, maybe draw a foul, or she can dish it out for another 3.
Melby goes quick. They're looking in that corner. She spins back, can't get it to go, gets it right back, puts it in. It's a 2-point bucket. Coach Whaley wants his team to inbound it from here. He's got 1 timeout in his pocket and a quick whistle as Frazier's heading back. So all the offensive rebounds against Huntington tonight, they get 1 big one there, and Melby's up to 36, her second highest scoring game as a Forester.
I think that was Raby that tipped the ball right back to Melby, and it was kind of like she should get a rebound and an assist on that play because it fell right into the hands of Melby, who was able to get the 2, and that's crucial.
Frazier again misses one at the stripe. Ryan, this is the most people I've seen in a women's basketball game here. Most viewers, 357 of you watching at home right now for the final 15 seconds. Frazier missed them both. It's another offensive rebound as Huntington just cannot get over the top right now. And now Nutley, who has only missed 2 free throws all year, goes to the free throw line.
Shooting 80% from the charity stripe this year. It's a good number, but it's not a perfect number. Wildcats, they've had some big free throws missed tonight, including those 2. But again, they're able to pick it up and get some time off the clock.
18 offensive boards, Ryan. That's the difference. You even cut that in half, and Huntington probably has a firm lead. It's just not been the case tonight. Nutley makes them both. Second opportunity, and now it's a full timeout. We're going to go ahead and take a short break with the players and the coaches. Be right back for the final 9.8 in Platt Arena.
Hi, my name is Hudson Winters, and I have the strongest PC on campus. I'm a visual effects major, and this PC basically allows me to do a lot of the things I want to do. It's probably about $5 grand worth of computer hardware. A lot of it kind of just goes together like Legos. It manages to work. That's usually the case. I encountered a lot of tech problems, both hardware and software related, the result of this guy, which is an SSD. It was faulty, caused Windows to not load correctly, and it caused everything else to stop working. Eventually, I did get it to work, and that was very relieving. I was glad I ended up persisting through it. I would say that this computer was worth it, both money-wise and problem-wise. It'll blow your socks off. I'm glad she's working now, because you know what they say, happy wife, happy life. I love you, babe.
9.8 seconds left in Platt Arena. The number 2 Wildcats trying to hold off these pesky, young, talented Foresters. See if HU can come up with a tying shot here. Kellum is fouled quickly. Only a second goes off the clock.
I don't think that's what they discussed in the timeout, is to foul right away, because now the Foresters are going to have a chance at the free throw line, and they didn't really take any time off the clock. So Huntington could make this 2 or 1 point game real quickly here.
Kellum makes the first 92% free throw shooter. Maybe that is what they discussed, though, Ryan. We do see teams foul sometimes up 3, but that was quick.
Yeah,
really quick.
That's kind of what I'm thinking there, is maybe you do that deeper in the clock.
Kellum makes both. Back to a 1 point game. Both teams 1 timeout.
Got to foul right away.
Thrown over right side, it's caught by Nutley, and that's who they want shooting these free throws.
Yeah.
She's been rock solid from the stripe tonight, and a chance to continue that.
Well, she saved the Wildcats on the last possession where Frazier was unable to hit those free throws, and they got the offensive board. She was the one that was fouled, and she hit the two. So Huntington had a chance to take the lead on that possession, and she was able to get to the line and make them both. So you're right on that, that's who the Wildcats want at the free throw line.
So Raby has 5 fouls. I don't think even the coaching staff knew that. Darby Maggard looked at her and said, I thought you had 4.
Yeah.
So she's out of the game, and finally Nutley misses a free throw. So Huntington, if they can get a defensive rebound, or if Nutley makes this, will have a chance to tie or win. 7.1 left. Nutley to make it a 2-point game, missed both. Board is on the floor. It's a jump ball, and possession arrow once again to Indiana Wesleyan.
That has just been killer all night long. Huntington tried to address it at halftime. Indiana Wesleyan's just too good of a rebounding team, and they knew probably going into it, if you get the ball, just secure it, because we have the possession arrow, and that could be the difference in our ball game tonight.
Long pass to Nutley, got a foul right away, and they do. Extra time definitely ran off the clock. We'll see if they come look at it. And I think they're gonna come check this. So we're gonna need to take a break here and look at this replay, because extra time just ran off the clock for certain. And they are gonna pause it. So we're gonna have to take a quick break.
I think Maggard kind of discussed that with the official to be able to convince him, but this doesn't look very convincing to me anymore.
I mean, there was no doubt extra time ran off. So I don't know if we can get that replay ready in the back, if possible. Looks like it is. So they're going to keep 3.9 on the clock, but if you look at that replay there that we just saw, there should have been more than that. So they come and look at a call in the first quarter or second quarter to put 4 seconds back on, but here, a little more important. Shocked by that. Nutley makes the first. Nutley makes the second. Now it's a 3-point game, and when it counted the most, Jade knocked in both.
Yeah, the time is obviously a huge factor for Huntington right now. They'd take an extra second or 2. I don't know how much time technically should have been on the board. I'd like to hear why maybe the official didn't want to come over and at least look at it.
I'd also like to see if we can maybe show that on the broadcast.
Yeah, sure.
Show that last play. I don't know if we've got time or not, but I think that would be pretty important for the viewers at home to see. I think an extra 0.6 or so came off, so you got to look up here. There's a catch
6
here.
seconds?
So that's a 5.8, it looks like. And the foul is there. That is 4.9, 4.8.
That's a whole second. I mean, that's crucial because Huntington has to get down the floor. I can't remember, do they get the ball near their sideline after that? So that's the only thing that I can say for Huntington that helps them is using the timeout that they had, that they are down here, but that extra second could be the difference between collecting yourself after maybe almost a turnover and still getting a shot off or not. But Huntington, nonetheless, they have to come up with something to get a 3, whether that be open or not, and have to hit it.
Huntington a chance to tie. 3.9 seconds left in Platt Arena. Lob pass goes to Kellum in the corner. She was blocked. And now 1.5 seconds left. And this is what we talked about, Ryan. That's where this 0.6 starts to become a little more interesting that we didn't look at it.
Yep.
I don't understand. I was watching the ref explain something to Darby Maggard as if they couldn't come look at it. I just don't think that's the case. Melby's got to find someone behind the 3-point line. Nelson gets it up. She's fouled, and she's got 3 free throws coming, and she's going to have to make all 3. And I would imagine we will have a review now to see how much time is left.
Shooting 75% at the line. Wow, can you imagine? This is how this game is going to come down to. Got to hit all 3, and I know I got to be quiet here in a second. Got to hand off the headsets here.
Yep, we're going to take it to a break. We'll see how much time is left. When Nelson and we come back, it'll be 3 shots.
My name's Emma. I'm Zach's cousin, and I'm a board member on Backpacks of Hope.
My name's Allie, and I am Zachary's sister, and I am a co-founder of Backpacks of Hope.
We put in our backpacks is items to keep the homeless warm, such as hats, gloves, blankets, and then a lot of sanitary items, and then just some non-perishable food items and water for them. And we started in the upstairs of my grandma's house, and after I believe Thanksgiving, so we would all get together and pack about, our first year was 50 backpacks, and just seeing us go from 50 backpacks to 2,000 was just really neat to see.
We may never know the lasting impact that we're having on them, but they're so excited and so thankful that they have items to get them through the next month or 2 months. I think that's the most impactful, but right there in those moments is all the impact that we need to see.
Thank you!
Hi, I'm Matthew Malone. I'm an ambassador to Backpacks of Hope. They hand out backpacks with winter stuff, gloves, socks, hand warmers, toothbrush, toothpaste, stuff to keep somebody that's homeless warm. The first place I heard about it was when I was homeless myself. Backpacks of Hope was valuable to me because starting me out with a backpack and with the essentials that I needed to move to the next step, I actually kept going. It gave me hope that people out there do care about the less fortunate. Anything helps. Food, clothing even, goes to the homeless or the unfortunate that need it. I just love what Backpacks of Hope has done. It's a great nonprofit organization.
So it will be 0.9 seconds left. It is 81-78. Annika Nelson will shoot 3 free throws, Ryan, to tie this one up. 75% from the stripe this year.
Yeah, you got to be 100% here. As soon as she misses this, as soon as she misses one, it's about as over as it can get. I mean, if you make 2 or 1, maybe try a tip in at the rim, but that is such a tough task.
Annika, biggest free throws of her life. Misses the first.
Now she's still, again, the whole tip-in thing is so difficult, but that's what you're faced with here. She has to at least make this one for that to be able to be a scenario.
Nelson got the second, so now you have to miss on purpose, Ryan.
Yep.
And then
you got to tip it in.
You barely have time to even get it off. Nelson misses, but she was across the free throw line too quick, and that just might be it for the Foresters. It's going to be a heartbreaker in Platt Arena, as it's going to be 0.6 left on the clock. Just devastating for HU, but what a game it has been. That's the first missed free throw of the night for Nelson. She's been really solid tonight. Obviously, that'll weigh on her for a while, but you have to take a lot of good from this game. And we've seen a lot of weird things in sports, too. I mean, an offensive foul on Indiana Wesleyan, then you get fouled on the inbound, you're right back in the same spot. You just never know, but it does look like Wesleyan's going to stay undefeated and potentially move to 8-0.
Yeah, and that's what you ask for as a neutral fan, of course. You're going to want to see good basketball, and you certainly got that tonight. But just takeaways from both teams. You know, Indiana Wesleyan, they've got a lot to be proud of. You know, they're a team that just kind of played their game tonight. That's the rebounds game. That's getting down low, scoring some points, getting to the free throw line, and gutting out a win like this when Huntington had every opportunity to come back. And then for Huntington, you know, some coaches get a little wishy-washy on the term moral victory when you lose a game. But I think Coach Magrin and her team has a lot to be happy about tonight, taking one of the best teams in the country and being the second best team in the country. You know, who knows where that ranking will go or what happens in a national championship, but it's a team that clearly is the best, if not one of the best in the entire country, and that's something to be really excited about if you're this Huntington squad. And it's another time that they've been able to put up a fight against the Wildcats, and that should give them hopefully some momentum. I know it's going to hurt if they end up losing tonight, but a lot of really good things to take away from.
Lawrence will inbound it. All it has to do is touch the hand of a teammate, and that's pretty much it, and it will be it as Frazier wraps it up. A tremendous game to kick off the Crossroads League season. This young Foresters team showed how solid they are. Coach Whaley, one of the best in the business. Darby Maggard well on her way. At the end of the night, it's a 2-point loss, but man, a great game to get us started this evening.
And we got, of course, another treat, so you're going to want to stay with us, and we anticipate just as much action as we did tonight between this game, and it'll be, again, the Wildcats and the Foresters later, but job well done from both teams.
I would imagine Coach Darby Maggard will still come over. She usually does after every loss, no matter what it is. So we'll try to keep it here just a little longer, but as soon as she's done with the interview, we got to wrap this thing up. So we've got a big broadcast ahead for the men's game. Huntington will fall to 0-1 in the Crossroads League. The great news is, and you know this, Ryan, you get to play both teams twice. So Huntington will have another shot at Indiana Wesleyan. They'll be in Lucky Arena, which is one of the toughest places to play. But you'll always take that second chance. Coach Darby Maggard will make her way over. We'll have you hand her the headset once she makes it. And Coach Maggard going to hop on the headset. Coach, I know it takes a lot to come over here after a game like that, but your team continues to show growth, and they just played with one of the best teams in the country.
Yeah, we did. We did. I'm going to be honest with you, Preston. I'm really proud of our effort. The thing, it really, it was we are so close to winning a basketball game like that, and I think we talk about it a lot, like the amount of toughness and the amount of focus and it takes to rebound the ball at the end of the game. That really was the difference maker for us. And no, they are a really, really, really good basketball team. And I cannot tell you enough how proud I am of our kids for walking out here and doing what they did. Because there were times when they could have folded and they didn't. They continued to show up.
Coach, you guys get right back to work against Bethel on Saturday. And the good news is, in the Crossroads League, you get a second chance at those guys as well. But what's the plan now going forward to kind of recoup from that and get ready for Saturday?
Absolutely. We got to show up on Saturday. Bethel, they're a good program. They're a good team. Every team in the Crossroads League is really, really good. And so I'm excited because we get another shot at it. That's what we love about a season and a basketball team, is that we get to come out on Saturday and play another game against a really good team. And so that one's about us, right? We gotta show growth from this game. And so if we do that, I know I'll be proud of my kids.
Thank you, Coach. Keep it going. We'll see you on Saturday.
Thank you.
Darby Maggard finishing up her interview. Preston Usman, Ryan Walker. We're going to go ahead and kick it to our short break, but we'll be back. Hoops for Hope. It's Indiana Wesleyan men's basketball against the number 13 ranked Foresters coming up next.
Catch and fire. It's on the... We made it!